Lopez, who was in an absolute war last week. Happy birthday.
From Mohegan Sun Resort and Casino here in Uncasville, Connecticut, welcome to Week 7 of Team Combat League. Alongside Amir Tyson, I'm Ray Flores. Happy Memorial Day weekend, everybody, as we begin your holiday weekend with a bang. A doubleheader here tonight at Mohegan Sun. First up, though, we have a matchup between the two hottest teams in Team Combat League. The second place Atlanta Attack and also the 2-2 DC Destroyers. Both teams are in the midst of two-fight win streaks. Amir, as we look at the Atlanta Attack, they're in second place. They previously defeated the undefeated New York City Attitude. A win tonight for Atlanta would give them sole possession of first place.
It would give them sole possession, and it would give them the leading momentum in the league. And whatever happens tonight, you know, that's going to be the front runner of the actual league
now,
into the Mega Brawl.
For the DC Destroyers, they are 0-2. They were 0-2. Now they are 2-2. Barry Hunter has them really firing on all cylinders. They certainly believe that not only will they make the playoffs, but they will be a formidable foe to handle and to deal with. Barry Hunter and company, what a job he has done as DC is rolling.
Yeah, he's a great coach. You know, he's a great mentor. And they did great last week, but we have to find out what they do tonight. And I can't wait to find out with you.
What a big matchup that we have between Derek Davis of DC and the Atlanta Attack's Michael Dawson. They both fought in the amateurs. They reunite tonight inside the Team Combat League ring. Michael Dawson has been a bright spot for the Atlanta Attack, but also Derek Davis, who Bubba Jenkins' favorite fighter with Team Combat League, he's been making some noise as well.
Yeah, because they fought in the amateurs, but the amateurs and the pros are vastly different. So we'll see how they, you know, get accustomed to their styles at a pro level, and it'll be fun to see. I can't wait.
Speaking of Bubba Jenkins, he's standing by with the newest addition of Team Combat League, Mike Fox.
Thank you, Ray. We're here with Mike Fox, newest member of TCL. How you feeling today, my man?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm ready. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem, man. With you being a title fighter, having fought for many titles, and it being a new kind of system, being in the TCL, how do you feel you're going to play out tonight?
I'm just going to do my part, you know, score my round, make it 10-9, 10-8 if possible. I'm just going to do my part for the team.
Okay. So when it comes to a team aspect, usually boxing isn't one. How do you feel about, you know, having some of the guys that can carry you possibly, or you picking up the space for them?
Yeah, I mean, it's just how it's going to be. You know, we all still have our individual jobs. Our individual jobs are to secure the round by round. I think that's how we win. That's how we get to the playoffs.
Absolutely. Well, it being playoff season, I'm pretty sure that you're going to come out and try to put your best set forward. So we're excited to see that tonight.
Big right down! Jones King! Big right in! Oh my goodness, Nathan's hurt!
Fight two of them down on the rope, throwing relentlessly.
My goodness! There's a knockdown! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Week 7 of Team Combat League. We have the first of a doubleheader here tonight. First up, it is the 4-1 Atlanta Attack and the 2-2 DC Destroyers. Let's meet the second place 4-1 Atlanta Attack, led by their head coach Mustafa Minkins and Sam Arnold Sr. First, in the women's featherweight division, we have Phil Mai Aloia Faiba. In the men's lightweight division, Marcel Davidson. At welterweight, Javon Davis. At middleweight, Khalid Johnson. At light heavyweight, Frankie Solomon. At heavyweight for Atlanta, Devon Young. In the women's featherweight division, Mona Ward. At middleweight, Keandre Leatherwood. At light heavyweight, Devontae Williams. Also at light heavyweight, Nehemiah Jones. At heavyweight, Demetrius Demarite. And rounding out your starting lineup for the 4-1 Atlanta Attack at lightweight, Michael Dawson. Once again, the Atlanta Attack, led by their head coach, Mustafa Meekins and Sam Arnold Sr. And now let's meet the 2-2 DC Destroyers, led by their head coach, Barry Hunter. And the women's featherweight division, Tyrecia Douglas. At lightweight, Kobia Breedy. Making his TCL debut, the world title contender, Mike Fox. At middleweight, Quincy Williams. At light heavyweight, Casey Dixon. At heavyweight, Dante White. In the women's featherweight division, Dupe Akinola. At middleweight, Monye Gregory. At light heavyweight, the battle-tested Damon Nicholson. At light heavyweight, Nasheed Smith. And rounding out the starting lineup for the DC Destroyers, Hasim Rahman. Once again, the DC Destroyers, led by their head coach, Barry Hunter. Now it's time to begin Atlanta and DC, Week 7 of Team Combat League.
Let's go. Let's go.
Back at you again, and just like men and gentlemanship, ladies first.
Oh, it is great to be back. Team Combat League, Week 7, 4-1 Atlanta Attack, and the 2-2 DC Destroyers. We're going to start off in the women's featherweight division with Filfi Mai, Aloe Faiva, and Tyrecia Douglas. Faiva for Atlanta. She's wearing good right hook already for Faiva. Faiva coming out, throwing some big shots towards Tyrecia Douglas.
Yeah, Tyrecia Douglas looks like she wants to counterpunch a little bit, and red corner is just all over. Team Atlanta is not giving her any space. Just how Team Combat likes to join you into the party. No time to wait. No time to figure things out. As soon as the show starts, we're on it.
Faiva getting right after it. My goodness. These are the two hottest teams in Team Combat League, Bubba. Both teams have won 2 in a row. If you are Atlanta, if they get this win tonight over DC, they would take sole possession of first place, upending New York. And look at Faiva go, making her TCL debut.
Yeah, Faiva is looking to put the heat on her, and they're not trying to give DC that open look that you were just talking about. You know, Tyrecia Douglas should probably, been a little better prepared. Her hair is a little bit out there. That's probably going to cause a little bit of effect later. I think that she's on the back foot and not really being offensive. So, this is an easy walk-em-down fight for Faiva.
Well, for Douglas, typically she's the one that is the table setter. And on the opposite, she hasn't even been able to get in the round because Faiva has been pressing the issue since the opening bell.
Yeah, and Judge just, warned her for holding. But as Douglas was holding, she was getting lit up. So she's got to do a better job of maybe not just holding, but actually boxing.
Right now, Faiva continues to press the issue. Now Douglas throwing a jab followed by a left, but look at Faiva go. Faiva's winning this round in convincing fashion.
Absolutely, and Faiva's looking to pick up the bonus points. I don't know if Douglas was ready to get out there and fight. I mean, she didn't even put her hair away. So I'm pretty sure that Atlanta is looking good to start that fight out 1-0.
Incredible action that we saw here. And we'll take a look back at some of the action here.
Yeah, Atlanta jumped right on DC. It had no breaks, no waits, just come out throwing hooks, death hooks, and uppercuts. It was an amazing show to watch.
And now we get ready for the lightweights. Marcel Davidson for Atlanta, Kobia Breedy of DC. Marcel Davidson, incidentally, happened to be the man to knock out that of one of the New York City Attack's top stars, Sherbek Ramutalov, 2 weeks ago.
one of the highlights of the TCL Combat League this season. Davis was an amazing comeback win on that night, and tonight he has a game Breedy in front of him, and Breedy likes to throw hooks. You know, this is a testament of height versus power. You know, the one guy's going to try to stick and move and get up out of there, and Breedy's going to try to cover and get inside and throw those hooks.
Kobia Breedy might as well be what he reminds me of as someone that is trying to be like a part of the infantry division. He likes to invade. He's trying to invade the space of that of Marcel Davidson.
Absolutely. You can see him throwing these hooks because of how tall Davidson is. He's looking to get those hooks around that guard, around those shoulders. He's just going to cover and throw hard. You know, he's missing a little bit, and he's a little bit off with his distance, and that's a good testament to Marcel Davidson. But Kobia Breedy needs to figure out his distance and get in there and actually land some of those wild hooks.
Marcel Davidson has been landing that left uppercut. He landed 3 uppercuts in a row. Fable won that first round, by the way, Bubba. 10-9, Atlanta. Big right hook upstairs by Breedy.
He's been looking for it, so Davidson's got to do a better job of seeing the punch that he's going for and then moving out of the way, because that's the only thing that Breedy is throwing is hooks.
Barry Hunter, the head coach of DC, telling Kobia Breedy, keep coming forward. Keep coming forward. It's been the uppercut for Marcel Davidson, but for Kobia Breedy, he changed the trajectory of the round with that right.
Absolutely, and he's just covering. You see this old school. I wouldn't say it's definitely not a Philly shell like a Mayweather style, but it is an old school defensive boxing, just so you can get your power off. You know, you're protecting your face. Not a lot of time for him to accumulate points on the body, so you're protecting your face and you're trying to throw heavy. And I think that's what Kobia Breedy's strategy is: protect the chin, throw heavy, land a hook.
Under a minute left in the second. There's a left by Marcel Davidson. What a war that we're seeing between Atlanta's Marcel Davidson and DC's Kobia Breedy.
I would love to see the accuracy rate on Breedy and Davidson. I feel like Davidson is hitting every punch, every other punch. He's pretty much hitting the target. And I feel like every third punch, Breedy may get a little finish in there or a little hit in there. But for the most part, Breedy is missing the target.
Under 20 seconds to go in what has been a compelling second round. I don't know who to give this round to as I'm looking at it, Bubba. I mean, I think it's a very close round.
It is very close, but I'm going to give it to Marcel Davidson. And when you look at the judges' cards and you look at who you'd rather be, I'd much rather be Marcel Davidson missing some of those heavy hooks and peppering my guy with a jab and the cross than I would be Marcel Davidson getting hit on and then missing those heavy wide looks. It just doesn't look good visually.
As we take a look back at some of the action from this round, boy, the action is starting off quickly.
Here comes that newcomer, Michael Fox, from DC, that I was excited to see about. You know, him being a title contender in his professional career. It's good to see him on TCL, and it's wonderful to see what he might do. You know, him having a team behind him might give him a different atmosphere than his normal boxing.
So we now are in the welterweight division. Javon Davis for Atlanta, and as you mentioned, the newest addition to Team Combat League, the 27-year-old, known as the Professor, Mike Fox. Mike Fox, 22-4 as a professional. He has lost 3 in a row, but he did have one of the most egregious decisions I've ever seen when he lost by unanimous decision to that of one Gabriel Maestre back on August 7, 2021. That was for an interim welterweight championship. In my estimation, Mike Fox was robbed of his world title, but that is another topic for another day. Well, he's now here with Team Combat.
Absolutely. Well, with him being a title contender, you know, him possibly being on the line to win that championship and then getting upset, you can tell you can't teach height with him. You know, he's got a good jab, he's got a good distance, he's got a good job of using all 6 foot whatever he is. He's doing a great job of just keeping that guy on the outset and being smart, you know, peppering with that too if the guy gets in too close and just keeping him away with the jab. It's amazing to see a tall guy versus a small guy because there are 2 strategies at play here.
So Atlanta's on top 20-18. Marcel Davidson and won that round, signaling good straight left by Michael Fox.
Yeah, good
Your
counter
prediction
punch.
was true with Davidson winning that round.
Yeah, absolutely. Atlanta's got the hands on the driver and wheel right now, but with Michael Fox, or Mike Fox, excuse me, because he told me during our interview, I like to be called Mike. So Mike Fox having the driver's seat here, he's trying to do as best as he can, like he said, to possibly get a 10 or 8 round fight out of this opponent.
And Mike Fox's brother, Alontes Fox, also fights as well. Alontes said, hey, I want to get in the mix with Team Combat League as well.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity for everyone who's involved in boxing. This is the new and up-and-coming boxing league.
Good straight left. Well, there's nothing like it out there in the sport, and it's new, it's unique, it's fast. You're seeing a couple straight lefts by Mike Fox.
And that's frustration right there. When you see Davidson swinging and missing like that, it's because of that height and the cleverness of Michael Fox. You can see him moving, swinging, moving, just jabbing and getting on his good bike. It's that distance. You can't teach height, and that will frustrate an opponent.
And we are nearing the final 37 seconds. Fox looking solid in his TCL debut. It's a new concept. You literally have to start strong, but not too strong, leave yourself exposed. And Fox is saying, hey, you can't hit me, man.
Yeah.
He's now some theatrics, some gamesmanship by Mike Fox.
Look at the entertainment that Fox is bringing to the aspect of TCL. But it's because of him being cool, calm, and collected. He's ready for 12, 10, 8-round fights. So this 3 minutes is nothing to him. So as Davis gets aggressive, he can find ways to just maneuver and move out of the way with his experience and his 12-round etiquettes.
There is a cut above the left eye of Mike Fox. Mike Fox, or on the hairline, is where it's at. Hopefully that isn't too bad, and he can compete in his...
Yeah, that's the one thing about
in the second half.
That's the one thing about TCL, man. When you get a cut, it's going to be hard to come back for that next round or to finish the next couple fights that you have out, especially if it's a doubleheader. So TCL has that, that ability to be renewable, but also be in the fight every time.
Well, at least for Michael Fox, he's not scheduled to. This is his only round that he's competing. Now we get into the fourth round. Khalid Johnson, we're in the middleweight division of Atlanta, and Quincy Williams of D.C. This is one of those matchups that has been really highly talked about with Team Combat League. When it comes to Quincy Williams and Khalid Johnson,
yeah, I'm excited about
they are
these
the
guys.
two most accomplished fighters in Team Combat League. Khalid is 6-1 with a knockout and a knockdown. Quincy 7-0, including 2 hard-fought wins last week against Diane DePestre, the Dallas Star. He comes in at 160, so this is a big matchup, and they're starting strong.
Absolutely. So there's only one loss in the TCL between these two guys, and both of them are looking for the pride of their team. It looks like Johnson is a little bit more aggressive as he's been all year, and Quincy Williams is looking to do his best and continue that undefeated streak.
Also want to send a special lot to Cynthia Conti, a member of our broadcast team. Cynthia, a bit under the weather this week.
Cynthia. Absolutely, get well soon. We miss you.
Yep, looking forward to having her next Friday night here, Mohegan Sun.
Hey, there's a double A there looking like, a little entry going right there.
And we saw that Javon Davis just won the previous round. Atlanta's on top, 30-27. They have swept the first 3 rounds. And you know what? That's surprising to me. I thought Michael Fox won that round.
I don't agree with the judges on the last card. I think Michael Fox controlled it. Maybe the blood had something to do with it. He did land maybe an overhand. But in my opinion, I think he only landed one big punch. And I think Michael controlled that round. But when it comes to this round, it's very up in the air. With 1:30 left, I still couldn't tell you who's more dominant. They're both fighting well.
The top for Khalid Johnson. Johnson, a right hand over the top, but Williams was digging to the body. Don't forget, chime in on the live chat. Let us know who you think is winning this one. We are very interactive with you, our viewer. Give us your thoughts on who you believe is winning this one.
I think Quincy Williams is doing that's a drop.
Down it goes!
Oh, that's a drop.
Khalid Johnson!
Ladies and gentlemen, that left hook meant something to him. And I was just getting ready to say that Quincy Williams is doing a great job countering and weathering the storm. Khalid Johnson is bringing the storm. He loves the storm. He loves the intensity, and that's what got him exposed. Even still, he's coming as if he's not the hurt fighter.
Well, talk about a big momentum shift. as DC back in this. It's a 10-8 round.
It is.
Quincy Williams performing at a very high level, weathering the storm of Atlanta's Khalid Johnson.
And the way Khalid Johnson likes to fight, I'm pretty sure within this last 30 seconds.
Oh boy, he got wobbled again.
He did with a good left hook.
Williams wobbled him again. Can he hang on and not taste the deck? Down he goes. This one's over. Oh my goodness.
That's a crazy match right there.
Quincy Williams has stopped Khalid Johnson. We're even.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen.
We are even after the 4th round.
That's a big round by DC. You can hear the crowd getting involved. You can hear the people of the audience just loving what DC just did. Quincy Williams just might have started that little momentum swing that DC needed because Atlanta was all over it.
Let's look at the knockdown, Bubba.
Man, that was a good left hook right here. Here it comes to get him that knockdown. We're going to look at it. He's fighting backwards. Boom. Oh, it might have been a 2 that got him a little earlier. A little showboat there, a little entertainment. And he got up feeling that shot.
Also, it was a left hook to the body that I think really
left
started
hook to the body
him.
right there, and then boom, right hand right
Boom,
there.
over the top.
Drops him right up, right behind that ear.
We mentioned about this cautionary table. We are now tied up. That one round totally changed things.
Man,
and oh my goodness. And that's the fact that we thought Michael Fox was robbed in the 3rd round. So we are even at, right now, as we enter the 5th round, and now we get ready for Frankie Solomon and Casey Dixon.
And I've seen Dixon a couple times this year on the TCL, and I think he's a really solid, tough, strong fighter. Maybe not be looking to get the bonus points, but he's going to be a hard out for Atlanta to get out of there. So, we're looking at a constant roller in Casey Dixon when we're talking about a guy who solidifies possibly 3 points for Team DC.
Right now, Casey Dixon picking up the pace here. We are even as we enter this 5th round with Casey Dixon and Frankie Solomon.
And that's the thing about Team Combat League. You can have 3 guys come out and not do anything, and then 1 guy for the opposite team come out and do as much as the other team and tie it up, just like that. I mean, it's a literal couple punches will put you back into the team fight.
We were in the 4th round, and Atlanta had swept the first 3 rounds, and in one round, in under a round, we totally, the trajectory of this matchup totally changed. We're even as we enter the 5th.
And it was in the last 30 seconds. It wasn't like it was a full round of just one-way traffic. It was in the last 30 seconds where they turned that tide.
We are now at the midway point of the 5th round. I still don't have any idea who to give it to.
I think Dixon, and this goes back to me saying, who would I rather be? I'd rather be the guy, in control a little bit, the center of the cage, the center of the boxing ring, just looking to be offensive. If there's a guy that's countering and he's just off with his counter, it kind of looks like he's, a little bit abrasive, a little bit on the back foot. Whether he's scoring or not, it still doesn't do a good job of visual.
We are under a minute to go in this 5th round. Don't forget, coming up, we have LA and Las Vegas, the first of a doubleheader between Atlanta and DC. Barry Hunter, the general, the head coach of DC, watching on intently. He loves what he's seeing out of his DC team. They were down, and boy, did they get a breath of life with Quincy Williams' stoppage of Khalid Johnson, which I could not have seen that coming.
I didn't see it coming, but Quincy Williams not having a loss in this TCL definitely puts him in position to do big things for his team. And I'm pretty sure Hunter was looking at Quincy Williams as a roller. Hey, let's go out here and get definitely the win, but he got a lot of points out of that 10-7 victory.
That'll end round 5 with Casey Dixon and Frankie
Solomon. Good
Solomon.
end by Solomon. I wouldn't say that's the best finish, but I wouldn't say that's the best start by Solomon, but that was a really good end. And that's what the judges are looking at. Who is the last person to impress you in a sense?
Well, you have to be aggressive now. We get ready for the heavyweights, but we'll go back and revisit that 5th round with Frankie Solomon and Casey Dixon of DC.
Hard to judge that and see who wins, but I'm going to give it to the guy who was on the pedal a little bit and controlling the center of the ring, and that was Dixon.
Now it's the heavyweights, Devon Young from Atlanta, Dante White of DC. Both guys are very tough competitors indeed.
Yes, love watching the heavyweights. Who doesn't love a big heavyweight matchup where there is a lot of weight, a lot of muscle, a lot of body out there just being thrown around. It's exciting to see, and the guy who has the most skill usually turns the world into an understanding that he is one of the baddest on the planet.
Good stiff jab for Devon Young. I think Young is in the mindset, let me keep this guy at distance, use the jab followed by the right hand. Let me make it simple and economical with the jab followed by the right hand. Dante White's going to have to get on the inside.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that Young here, coming off of the loss that he had to Las Vegas, he's looking to probably, come back with a little bit more pride. He had a tough loss against the Las Vegas heavyweight. Didn't look that good. I'm sure he's looking to try to come back and make his presence known here in the heavyweight division against DC. Good good three-punch combination. He missed the last punch, but it was a good 1, 2, 3 at the start of it.
Jab followed by the right hand for Devon Young. Dante White hasn't really done anything significant thus far.
No, not much, but he's looking for that counter punch with that cross. If he can find that, if he can time it, it might be significant. See how White is kind of, he's almost catching the punches. I wouldn't say like he's a mitt holder. He's catching the punches just so he can look for his opportunity to get those big punches off.
Good left hook for Devon Young as Dante White tries to get it on the inside. They're wrestling in the inside. A bit of jockeying for positioning.
Good trading hooks right there.
I think Devon Young is being, without a doubt, the busier of the two. He's dictating the pace, setting the tempo.
Even going back, he's dictating the pace. It doesn't matter what dance it is. If it's salsa, if it's slow-mo, he tells you what dance we're doing. He just doesn't tell you in which geographic area he's doing it. He's getting pushed back all over the ring, but he is actually leading the dance. That was a good three-punch combination right there.
Well, there are times where he wants to come forward. There are times where he wants to bait White to come forward and set some traps, but everything is off the jab with Devon Young.
Absolutely, as it should be. MMA, fighting has the best understanding that jab is the most important punch. It's the most important punch. It's the temperature finder. It's the range finder. It's the offense peekaboo. It's the setup to your offense. The jab is by far the most important punch in all of sports.
So Frankie Solomon won that round for Atlanta. 47-46 is the score. Atlanta's on top by a point, and I think they're going to build a 2-point advantage as I have Devon Young winning this round handily.
Man, it's kind of hard to see what the judges are looking for, being that Dixon controlled the center of the cage. I feel like he landed the most punches, but, hey, to each their own. Whatever the judges see is where it's at. I got no horse in the race, but I'm loving to see these guys compete and get back after it.
Well, that'll end the sixth round. I stand corrected. The fifth round went to Frankie Solomon over Casey Dixon. So now we get ready for round 7. We'll go back to the women's featherweight division. Mona Ward of Atlanta, Dupe Akinola of DC.
And I can barely give you prediction on these fights because I don't know who won that last one. It looked like a pretty even fight, but they're going to come back to the the judges' scorecard and let us know where we stand. But beautiful understanding of DC versus Atlanta because this is Team Combat League and there is no fill-out process.
Well, I want to send a low out to those that are chiming in on the conversation when it comes to the live chat. I want to send a hello out to Carol James, who said, great job, Frankie Solomon. Waylon Bailey said, even if I wasn't a fighter for TCL, I'd still be a fan. These teams come to fight every week. Nick Deacon ready for the LA 10 Goose. Whiteman says, Young won easy. So make sure to give us your thoughts and chime in on the conversation in the live chat here on the TCL YouTube page.
Almost a drop
Beautiful
there
left hook by Dupe Akinola.
Yeah, and Dupe is always the strongest girl in the round. No matter who she's fighting, she's going to be for sure pound for pound matched up with one of the strongest.
Yeah, Dupe Akinola has been a constant and has been a stalwart, big right hand over the top of the Mona there. She has been just solid all year long for Barry Hunter and the DC Destroyers.
It's a good in and out attack by Mona Ward, being that she's dealing with the power of Dupe, but she's got to be a little bit faster and a little bit more aggressive.
Dupe Akinola is one of those fighters that you know that Barry Hunter feels and believes that she can win every single round, and typically she does come out on top.
Yeah, usually when you have that, when you possess that type of power and athleticism, you're going to feel good about what's going on there in the rounds.
So Devon Young won that previous round, 57-55. Atlanta's won the last 2 rounds. So since the knockout loss for Atlanta, that Khalid Johnson suffered to Quincy Williams, it has been Atlanta who's been able to circle the wagons again, and once again they've built up a lead.
Yeah, Atlanta's doing a good job of being the better team right now. You know, DC's got to get back in their book and get back in that strategy. We do believe that Michael Fox, good right hand right there by Dupe, and that made her wobble a little bit.
Look, and if you are Barry Hunter, you got to like what you're seeing. Obviously, you pretty much have been out-hustled for the most part, but you have Quincy Williams with that 10-7 round, and Dupe Akinola. I think it is a one-point matchup, and at this particular juncture, Bubba, you kind of take your chances.
Yeah, you do, and if I was Atlanta, I would be feeling good with all the guys that are, you know, winning and being successful. We have the majority of the fights being won and in our control, but it is those moments that DC has put themselves back in the fight, and it can be anything. It can be an overhand punch, it can be a mean left hook, it can be anything that puts you back in this fight with TCL.
Well, now we have Keandre Leatherwood of the Atlanta Attack, Monier Gregory of DC. Keandre Leatherwood as a pro, 23-8-1, 13 knockouts.
And DC kind of has Gregory, in the sense, kind of has this fighting with, kind of has this look on his face of a sense of urgency. You know, I don't know what position Leatherwood plays for his team as far as a roller or a heavy hitter, but I know that Gregory is looking to try to get that win back for DC. This is what it looks like to me.
Well, look, Dupe Akinola, I thought, won that previous round, so I think right now, if you are DC and you once again tie it up, you got to be thinking, hey, look, we haven't necessarily had the best overall performance, but we're just going at it. Big right hand there by Monier Gregory.
Beautiful counter as he was coming in, wonderfully timed. Leatherwood's got to be doing more feints, more offense. You know, there was a feint there, body jab, a hook up top. You know, he's got to do more to confuse Gregory. Gregory seems to be waiting and seems to be a good counterpuncher.
And this one is in the men's middleweight division. They are wrestling right now between the two.
A good counterpunch right there again by Gregory. He seems to slide out the way. There's a fake 1-1-2, but he seems to slide out the way and then land that cross pretty well.
This is a big matchup for both, because if you're Atlanta, you right now are sitting at 4-1. You're looking up at New York City, who is in first place at 5-1. But if Atlanta wins, they would go ahead and take sole possession of first place.
They're doing a good job of putting pressure on that New York team, or putting pressure on the standings, because Atlanta has come out with their foot forward. You know, yeah, they have taken a devastating loss in the 10-7 round earlier, but for the most part, it's been one-way traffic in Atlanta's in favor.
Yeah, with the exception of Dupe Akinola and Quincy Williams, it has been all of that of the Atlanta Attack. 4-1 their record.
Yeah, big collision there.
And with the way that injuries are starting to sort of invade and riddle teams and hamper teams, I would have to say that Atlanta's probably the healthiest of the big three teams with Team Combat League.
Absolutely, and you know, everyone has a good possibility of availability and things like that. They have a good ability, they have ability to box, they have ability to hit hard. But we know from the outside looking in, the best ability is availability. If you're not available to fight for your team, there's nothing you can do for them. Usually they don't even give you a ring if you're not available. So it's the guys who can show up in the cage and put on some points for their team that's going to really get you to the playoffs.
Dupe Akinola won that previous round 10-9. We now near the end of the 8th round. Keandre Leatherwood, Monier Gregory. Terrific round between the two. Atlanta on top 66-65. That was prior to this round, as we'll go back and revisit some of the action from the 8th.
I couldn't tell you who won that round, honestly. They both had some good points there. You know, aggressive by Atlanta, counter-punching by DC. I don't know which way that went. I'm excited to see the cards on that one.
Well, now we get ready for Damon Nicholson of DC and Devontae Williams of Atlanta. Damon Nicholson, 30 years of age, 26-5-1 as a pro, 22 knockouts to his credit. coming off of a loss to Demetrius Andrade back to begin the year, January 7th. Here as a proud member of the DC Destroyers.
That was a good hook by Devontae right there. I think Devontae is one of the, you know, I don't want to say favorite fighters for Atlanta, but he's one of the fighters that, you know, you're kind of skeptical of, so you hope he does a good job. You can tell on the face of his teammates that, you know, he's one of those guys you're hoping to not, you know, just give up a bunch of points. And sometimes he comes out and he fights the fight he needs. He fights the fight to get the victory, and he's doing that right now for Atlanta.
Devontae Williams, 13-1 as a pro. His only loss coming at the hands of Kenton Cook. Actually beat Cleotis Pendarvis back on December 4th, 2021. That round previously, Leatherwood won the round over Gregory, so Atlanta on top, 76-74. They are building on their lead yet again, which could be detrimental to the DC Destroyers.
Absolutely. Atlanta has won the majority of the fights tonight and have been in the driver's seat all night.
The action certainly picking up here at Mohegan Sun. Good right hand over the top by Devontae Williams.
And there's a sense of urgency from Coach Hunter here. He can feel that Atlanta's getting away with the lead a little bit. You can see him employing his fighters to be a little bit more aggressive. You have to get to that Hail Mary in football that you don't get in boxing because you're down. So you really got to put a couple guys together to give you that Hail Mary so you can get yourself back in the opportunity to win this championship.
Well, in theory, they did get that with Quincy Williams knocking out Khalid Johnson.
Touchdown pass, absolutely.
Yeah, you actually got it, and you're back in it, and they're only down by 2, but they got to start to string together.
They're going to need another Hail Mary. They're going to need another Hail Mary. They're going to need another consecutive victory, as you were saying, right? And it is in Atlanta's control. DC is going to have to do something to turn the tide.
There's a reason why the Atlanta Attack are among one of the best teams in Team Combat League, the top 2 teams of Team Combat League. We have 6 teams with this opening season. We will expand to 12 teams. Big right hand!
Big right hand!
Damon Nicholson!
And that is not what DC needs.
My goodness!
Man, that was a big right hand, and like I've been saying, Devontae Williams has been coming out doing what he's supposed to do or what he can do, and this is an opportunity that he's doing the best he can for Team Atlanta, and that's why Atlanta's in the driver's seat. You can hear them on Atlanta's team wanting him to go for this finish.
As if things couldn't have gotten worse for DC. Atlanta with a 10-8 round.
Look at the look of despair on Hunter's face. He is in a state of confusion right now.
Well, Barry Hunter, obviously, you look at Damon Nicholson, who has been just a terrific performer, and towards the end of the round, suffers that knockdown. That overhand right, it affected the equilibrium down.
Yeah, right.
Nicholson. It was
and I
overhand
can't even say that it was behind the ear. Maybe it was on top of the ear. Literally, if he hit the clip of the ear, he might have cauliflower now. It was in the perfect spot, and it downed his opponent, which gave Atlanta another walk away.
It was the overhand right on the top of the head. And Bubba, as we have Nehemiah Jones and Nasheed Smith here in the light heavyweight division, Jones for Atlanta, Smith for DC. But this is huge because that overhand right by Devontae Williams, it short-circuited Damon Nicholson. Thus, your legs go away instantly.
Yes, and almost gave him a 10-7 round. Nasheed Smith is going to have to do what he can to keep Jones off of him and try to get the momentum back for DC. But right now, Atlanta is feeling invincible. You know, if we've heard that song, I Feel Invincible, that's how they're coming out and looking right now.
Well, Atlanta certainly, both teams have been on win streaks. They both have won 2 in a row, but Atlanta, in the course of this 2-match win streak, they defeated the best team in all of Team Combat League in New York. So they believe they're the best team, and now they consistently have been proving it over the past 3 weeks.
Nehemiah Jones is getting tore up by the combinations of Nasheed Smith. Nasheed Smith looks really good with this combination, and he's almost getting that 1-2-3 off at will, that jab cross hook off at will. There's the cross, an uppercut there. I mean, he's just going at it, and he's feeling good about himself because he's letting his arms go with reckless abandon.
And echoing left by Nasheed Smith. He's sitting down in his punches. He's throwing the straighter shots.
Beautiful slip right there.
Oh, just tremendous stuff that we're seeing out in Nasheed Smith.
Inside, yes. This is body work. This is phone booth boxing. This is the grind. This is the dirty. This is the ugly. This is the good and bad about close range fighting right here.
Nasheed Smith is just wailing away. He's whacking Nehemiah Jones at will.
Like a rock'em sock'em robot. I mean, like you said, whack 'em. The moment the head pops up, whack 'em. The moment the head pops up, whack 'em. Every time that Nehemiah Jones' head pops up, whack 'em by Nasheed Smith. It's a good look for Nasheed Smith. And trying to get that momentum back for DC, this could play great going into the last 8 rounds.
Although I will say Nasheed Smith of DC has taken his foot off the gas a bit because he was really backing up Nehemiah Jones in the earlier part of the round.
Yeah, I believe in this Team Combat League, once you solidify the visual, once you get that good look for the judges, you know, the last 30 seconds, you can, you know, take the, I would say, take the gas off because they do have another fight. They have to prepare for the next round. So solidifying the victory and then having that strategy to just, you know, walk away with the win and maybe not try to 10-7 the guy is maybe what's on his mind right now.
So Devontae Williams with the knockdown over of that of DeMont Nicholson, 86-82, the lead for Atlanta. That'll end the round. Likely, though, it'll be a 3-point advantage as it was one-way traffic, as you like to so eloquently say, Bubba.
Yeah.
With Nasheed Smith handling
and he looked
Nehemiah
good
Jones.
with those body shots, ripping to the body, coming up top. I mean, you can call him the body snatcher. I mean, there's a little bit good by Atlanta, but for the most part, the counter punching and the lead-in punching by Smith was a beautiful thing.
Well, now we'll focus in on the heavyweights before we get to the money rounds. Demetrius Demerite of Atlanta, Hasim Rahman of DC. Greatly appreciate all of you joining us, spending your Thursday with us here on the TCL YouTube page. Big right hand to start off for Rahman Jr. Rahman Jr. is starting with 2 big right hands, certainly letting his presence be known here.
Yeah, both of them look a little bit off balance on their feet. You know, that usually has to come with a little bit of understanding of what's going in there. Now that they're starting to, you know, get some punches off, some power punches off, they're starting to find themselves and not be as giraffe Bambi-legged.
Yeah, they certainly want to see more of the fundamentals being exhibited. Arthur Mercanti talking to both men. You know, the heavyweight division within Team Combat League, certainly exciting. You got Michael the Bounty Hunter. He will not be in action tonight. Alexander Flores out of the lineup for LA. You got the addition of Greg Hardy for Dallas last week. Yeah. Good right to the body there.
Yeah, it was a good
by Rahman Jr.
Good punches by Rahman. He's stepping in a little bit too deep, maybe overexerting himself, and that's what's given Demerit a little bit of the ability to counter punch. But Demetrius is doing a good job of punching when he can. He's just not as experienced and just probably not as good of a fighter as Hasim Rahman.
Well, Hasim Rahman Jr., he is the son of the former heavyweight champion of the world, Hasim Rahman Sr., having knocked out Lennox Lewis. That was one of his claims to fame.
Remember his father fighting, and I actually know where I was when I saw Hasim Rahman knock out Lennox Lewis. In Virginia Beach at my coach's house. So
wow.
I understand the history behind who Hasim Rahman is. And I believe with him being down on the cards, well, not him, but DC. Yeah, being down on the cards, I'm sure that the DC guys want him to be a roller and try to come out and get a 10-7.
Well, the previous round, I thought Nasheed Smith won it, so it's likely a 3-point advantage for Atlanta. But right now, if you're Hasim Rahman, he's having a very solid round. Barring anything bad and catastrophic for Rahman, I think it'll just be a 2-point advantage for Atlanta as you head into the money rounds, which is significant.
Yeah, heading into the money rounds, we're going to see who really put their foot on the gas and who really wants to walk away with this victory, because it is relatively close. Atlanta has done a good job of getting out in front, but DC has done a good job of having their rollers capitalize on their opportunities. So we're going to come down to these last couple of rounds as Rahman gets his mouthpiece knocked out. we're going to see who wants it more.
Barry Hunter imploring Rockman Jr. to come forward. He wants him to keep coming forward. I think Barry Hunter was sensing that Rockman Jr. is good enough to put Demright on the deck.
Absolutely, and he needs points. Hunter is pouring points from here. He wants points from all of his fighters.
95-92, Atlanta with the lead, but likely it'll be just a 2-point lead for Atlanta. As we talked about DC stringing together wins, well, they've done so with Nasheed Smith, and now the performance of Asim Rahman Jr.
Yeah, and that's a good way to put yourself in a position to still be in this fight. No matter what's going on, no matter how it's going, no matter how many fights Atlanta has won consecutively or vice versa, Team DC has put themselves in the position to still stay in this fight with probably 6 or 7 fights left.
Let's take a look at the action that we saw as Asim Rahman Jr. handled business. Want to send hello to all of you who are watching on the live stream and chatting up. Mark N says, I think DC may pull this out because their best fighter, Johnson, is out in the money rounds. And Williams goes again. Can certainly see that transpiring. Also, Kobia Breedy going ahead saying, Jodo says, Breedy looking good. Jade Henderson saying, damn Nasheed, talking about that Nasheed Smith. Also, Lee Bolden saying, let's go DMV, meaning the DC Destroyers. And right now, I believe standing by, Quincy Williams will send it to Amir Tyson. So as we go ahead and we continue to go ahead and look at this matchup so far here, Bubba, Ray Forrest alongside Bubba Jenkins. And Bubba, what a start for Atlanta. They got off to 2 big leads. But you look at the knockdown for Quincy Williams, the stoppage over Khalid Johnson is significant.
It was huge for Team DC. Atlanta had come out 3 fights straight, controlling the fight, controlling the cage, controlling the arena, letting everybody know Atlanta is here to stay. But then DC came out with that big win by Williams and started to try to keep the momentum in their favor. Although Atlanta has done a good job of coming back with the wins of Leatherwood and some other guys, it's going down to the last couple rounds.
Well, right now, you would think that Atlanta is leading by 2. Overall, Bubba, they have been the more complete team. But we've gotten wins by Nasheed Smith and Asim Rahman. When it looked like the knockdown of Devontae Williams over Devon Nicholson, Atlanta built up a 4-point lead. That was their biggest lead of the night. But once again, DC continues to claw their way back into the mix.
And you got to love TCL for having the opportunity to have one team be a better team, but the other team have maybe 1 or 2 better fighters and keeps this thing even. You got to love boxing for having every person or every underdog have that fighter's chance, have their puncher's ability to not only put himself back in the fight, but put his team back on the standings.
Right now I'm going to bring in Amir Tyson. Amir, you just spoke with Quincy Williams for our social media standpoint, but Quincy, you know, what did Quincy Williams tell you as he got the big knockdown over Khalid Johnson for DC?
He saw his legs wobble, he saw him hurt, and he went for the kill, you know. He smelled blood and he went for it, you know. It was a great fight early on. They were going back and forth, and then he just took advantage at the end and came out on top.
What was his demeanor like as his team gets set for the money rounds?
He was happy. He knows he had the performance of the night, but, you know, he was focused on what he had to do. He knows the night's not complete yet, and until it concludes, you know, he's going to be ready for war.
I know you're from the D.C. area, but Barry Hunter always seems to have his guys, even when they're down, and it looks like they are facing a significant deficit. They always find a way to get back in the mix and have these close matchups. In their first 3 matchups, they were all decided by a point.
Right. You know, at the end of the day, it's perseverance. It's how much you want it, you know, and if you want it really bad, you're going to come out victorious. And Barry Hunter, he has a way of motivating his fighters, and you know, he's a great mentor, so, you know, he pushes them to the limit.
Bubba, on the opposite side with the Atlanta Tech, you are the number 2 team in the land. You could theoretically be the number 1 team if you defeat DC. It will obviously not be easy, but I think Atlanta is trying to prove without a doubt that they are the cream of the crop. You know it when it comes to your world of MMA, but seeding is so important as we head towards the playoffs.
It will not be easy, and the momentum is with Atlanta. They have been controlling this fight, except for, you know, 1 or 2 big wins from DC. You know, you could call it a clean, not a clean sweep, but a clean understanding of who wants this more. Atlanta is racing and charging for that #1 spot, and they look like it tonight.
Let's go back to the ring as we get ready for the money rounds. And we will start off with the money rounds. It'll be Vilfai Aloe Faiva and Dupe Akinola matching up.
Love to see these 2 matchups because both of them won last round. So it's going to be the last 6 rounds, and they're going to try to change up. Coaches have a smart idea with the strategy. I think it was a good job of Team Atlanta to put Faiva against Dupe because Dupe is just a power puncher, not much technique, and Faiva has a lot of skill.
Thing about Faiva, I like that she's aggressive, effective aggression. She always brings it to their opponent, so we'll see what she does in this fight.
Big left hook for Faiva up top. Again, with the women's rounds only 2 minutes. That is how pro boxing has it. I still wish they fought 3-minute rounds.
Absolutely, and it always looks so hectic, you know. It's on their mind that they only have 2 minutes. That extra minute, as we have in the men's division, gives them that sense of, okay, maybe a smaller, not the biggest fill-out process, but definitely a smaller, longer fill-out process. When it's 2 minutes, it's all action, no breaks, one way, and it is just all TCL. So you got to be the best in 2 minutes, no matter what's going on.
Both fighters, they need to focus on punching into the body so they could, like, you know, keep their opponent still, and then they work from the body and then go right to the top.
Faiva pounding away on the body, Amir, as you said.
As she does. That is Atlanta's style already. This is the second time we've seen Faiva come out there, put her foot on the gas, and then not look for breaks.
Faiva is pressing the issue in a major way. A sneaky left uppercut, or right uppercut for Akinola, but for the most part, it has been all one-sided in favor of Faiva for Atlanta.
Faiva, you know, she's bringing the fight to her. Right when I said that she has to throw punches to the body, it worked immediately. She implemented it, and it worked. And now she's been taking over the fight ever since.
Yeah, much rather be Faiva than I'd rather be the other girl. So, truly, we see an understanding of her controlling the time, controlling the cage or ring, and controlling another win for Atlanta. Even though DC's getting their crowd involved, showing Dupe that they show her that she did a good job, I feel as though Atlanta walked away with that.
Good left hook to the body as we go back and revisit the 12th round.
Good jabs by Dupe, good overhand right there, but followed up by Faiva with 3 hooks. It was beautiful.
Hey, here's a big matchup. Keandre Leatherwood and Quincy Williams. Williams, the superstar for DC, and what he was able to do.
8-0.
We'll see if Williams can, like, you know, come off that momentum after that TKO win. If he's going to overthink his performance because of it, or if he's going to let it go and then let his hands fly. We have to see.
Well, with Atlanta being up on the cards that they are, I'm pretty sure that DC and Hunter wants Williams to come out and do what he's already done. Be who you've already been. Be that momentum shifter, that game changer that you've been. And you have an opponent that may allow you to do that. So we're looking for DC to try to, you know, get back in this fight right now.
Well, and also you're at the point where if you are Barry Hunter, you just want your guys to win because it looked like clear-cut. Faiva won that round for Atlanta. Now they're once again ahead by 3. It's like, how many times can you keep, at some point, time and the rounds are going to run out to where you are battling back, you're getting back in the mix, you're down by 2 rounds, you're down by 3 points, and then you win a round, and you're back within 2 points. You're within striking distance, but you cannot fully go ahead and tie the matchup up.
Yeah, you know, the pressure's on them, but at the same time, this is what they want. This is what they, you know, they sweated in the gym for. They bled in the gym for. So they know they gotta bring it. They have no excuses. They gotta bring it and try to get their team ahead.
We are now at the midway point of the 13th round. Coming up, the second half of our doubleheader. LA and Las Vegas, both teams needing wins. Good left hook to the body by Quincy Williams.
And Williams is aggressive, man. You know, when you have that kind of power and that kind of skill, you really just want to see what the minutes hold for you. You got 3 minutes, and you're really looking in the ring to see what your opponent can present to you. Because when you're on the gas pedal, you're in your zone, everything could be positively happening for you. And you just want to see what the opportunities hold.
So Atlanta's on top, 114-111.
Wow, that's
Quincy
a good
Williams.
4-punch combination right there by Williams, as you were about to say. He is feeling himself.
But again, Quincy Williams being the superstar that he has been for DC tonight, he likely will have won his team not just 3 points, but probably 4, which is major. He's the reason why DC's in this matchup.
A moment ago, Leatherwood, he leaned in and he almost got right into that uppercut. Quincy could have thrown that uppercut and hurt him bad, so he has to watch leaning in.
Yeah, and Quincy just looks like he's in his zone. He looks like he controls the distance. He looks like he is ready to go and be the representation for DC as they're looking to be in that playoff spot.
If there was an MVP for a team, Quincy Williams is certainly that for DC.
Would have loved to see Davis tonight as well.
Well, Derek Davis out. I just learned that Derek Davis out with a lip injury. He was not cleared. Wow. So he will likely be back when DC returns.
I'm sure he's excited with the performance that Quincy Williams puts on, knowing that he could be in that position to have done what Quincy Williams has done. I'm pretty sure he's happy for his friend and his teammate to put on that performance and get DC back in the lineup that they are in.
It was great work from both teams. We just have to, they know the pressure's on them, and they got to persevere no matter what, because they got to do whatever it takes to win.
Team DC doesn't know where their fighter is right now. We got one guy in the cage ready to go at Atlanta, and DC is looking around. Coach Hunter looks to be confused about where their fighter might be.
All right, so they are at this time, while we figure that out, we want to go ahead and say White Man said Rockman won the round. Demerite got a couple good shots in. Asim Rockman looked very good, in which we saw him when he competed in that 11th round. Also, Joe Dan says DC go pull it off, big fans. And also we got Janabek Komatov saying New York City is back, coming up in the month of June. We are working on the gloves for that of Janabek Komatov.
This is taking a while. I don't know what's going on, but they need to get in the ring.
So at this time, we got a little bit of a break in the action here. We are at Mohegan Sun Resort and Casino. We will be back next Friday night. So a Friday night edition of Team Combat League. We will be here at Mohegan Sun Resort and Casino in Uncasville, Connecticut, as we have a glove situation. And let's go back and take a look at what we have seen so far. An impressive knockout victory of Quincy Williams as he put away Khalid Johnson.
And it was just technique after technique. It was punches to the body, punches up top, and then he got aggressive, feeling himself and letting him know, bro, I'm all in it.
He knew right when he had him hurt, he just had to attack. He knew he was hurt. Legs wobbled and everything. He just went right for the kill.
All right, now we have round 14 getting set underway. We have that of Khalid Johnson matching up against Monier Gregory. No, we do not. Curious. We're going to figure out who our new participant is.
Dixon. That's Dixon in there. I've seen Dixon a couple of times. He's been a strong fighter. This is going to be a good matchup between him and what's his name over there?
So right now, Atlanta's on top, 123-121, a 2-point advantage for Atlanta. So things are certainly getting closer here in this matchup, guys.
Yeah, they need to throw their jabs. They need to start their jabs and throw everything off that. Throw all their combinations off the jab, because right now they're in a feeling off process, but like I said, it's close and they need to do something.
Yeah, and it's just right in Hunter's atmosphere, or right in Hunter's strategy as a coach to mix it up. You know, some of these guys have favorable matchups. Sometimes you pull a guy out, you put another guy in. You know, unlike what we did at Penn State, you had to know and turn in your lineup. Here with the TCL, you can maneuver it as it is, and you can, you know, see the matchup, see how it's going, and maybe get your guy Dixon in on, you know, a Williams and try to get this victory out of for your team.
Devontae Williams, Casey Dixon matching up. An overhand right for Casey Dixon. Dixon is one of those guys for DC who's not afraid. He wants his moment. And lo and behold, with DC being down by 2, that is very big.
And the moment is right there for him to grab. If he can go get it, if he can go see the blood in the water, he can possibly do what Williams did and grab that victory for his team.
Right now it's sort of a chess match, but now they're letting their hands on. Right when I said that, they turned it up.
Good counter right hand by Devontae Williams against the ropes. It wasn't much, but it definitely backed up Dixon and got his attention.
Yeah, he felt it. He definitely stung him a little bit.
Under a minute left in this 16th round. This one's scheduled for 18. What action that we have witnessed here tonight.
Yeah, with 2 rounds left, Atlanta's got to do what they got to do to get back into this fight. I mean, DC, my fault. DC's got to do what they got to do to get back in this fight. And I believe Hunter wants a 10-8 or 10-7 out of his fighter right now, because that's what they're going to need to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, they can't think too much. They just have to let their hands go, because if they think too much, their opponent's going to take advantage of that. So they need to be away.
Those trades are, one of these moments, one of those trades are not going to go in favor of both of these guys. Right now, they're going in favor of both fighters, and they're trading and both landing. But one of these times, one of these guys is going to trade, and he's not going to get what he's looking for out of that right there. Dixon and him traded. There goes the trade that we're talking about. And one guy getting the better out of the 2.
And that'll end the round. They both were slugging on this Thursday night. Wow.
Great round.
Terrific stuff that we have witnessed. Now it is, I think, to me, this is without a doubt, the marquee matchup that I've been waiting for. Michael Dawson, who, to me, we talked about MVPs. Well, MVP for DC, you know it's about Quincy Williams. For Atlanta, a young budding superstar, Michael Dawson.
Great combination from the start.
Yeah, so I have an understanding that Michael Dawson is probably going to pick Kobe Brady apart. Only because I've been watching Michael Dawson and his clever skills and technique. Now tonight, Davis, which was my favorite opponent, my favorite boxer in TCL, came up to me and said, "Bubba, I was trying to put on a show for you tonight, had a great opponent, and I just won't be able to do it." So we have Kobe Brady picking up the slack for Davis, but Dawson is definitely a game opponent.
Dawson, every combination, he at least lands 2 clean punches. He's just going to where he's outboxing him.
That's why I was wanting to see the skill on skill versus Dawson and Davis.
Michael Dawson has been superb all season long. He continues to do that. There's a left upstairs, beautiful chopping left.
Absolutely,
by Michael
young
Dawson.
and smart. You can tell that he's beyond his years. You know, he's got that young middle school kid face, but he is beyond his years with these punches and his intelligence. I mean, just peppering that jab every now and then, throwing that uppercut and landing a heavy right just to keep Brady up off you. Brady is going to keep coming. He's a grown man. He's coming in there to grind it out. He sees the youth on Dawson, and he's probably going to want to come and try to bully him. But Dawson, being a really good, skilled young fighter, is going to do his best to ole and jab his way into a victory.
All right, so Atlanta's on top, 151-150. Guys, we got a 1-point edge. But if you are Atlanta, you're feeling supremely confident with Michael Dawson being in that ring.
Thing about Dawson, he has great timing. He's throwing a lot of punches, and he's landing them on the right target, and it's consistent. So, you know, his opponent is definitely feeling it, and it's accumulating in, you know, pain.
And absolutely, Dawson is in a good seat for Atlanta, but I would be comfortable if I was Team DC with the type of pressure that Brady brings. Brady might lose 2.5 minutes, but in that last 30 seconds, he might give the judges something that they can get confused about and possibly give him the round, because he's constantly coming forward, he's constantly swinging heavy punches. Even though he missed the hook there, he's constantly trying, and some judges give you that.
Right now, I think this is the best display tonight of hit and not get hit. So this is like the boxing clinic of the night thus far.
I think Kobia Breedy gives you that hit and not get hit type of atmosphere, because the guy he was fighting last time stuck and moved, and got out of the way. Even though Brady won that round, we felt as though Michael Fox did a good job of sticking and moving, and we're thinking that again with Michael Dawson. But the pressure that Brady has with that cover up and swing, that cover up and just throw hooks, it might look good for the judges, and that's what won him the last round against a good, skilled Michael Fox.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, the judges, they all have their criteria on what they judge by. So, every judge has their different criteria, so you never really know how the fight's judged.
Michael Dawson and Kobia Breedy. Dawson looking fantastic, but Breedy made him earn that one.
And Breedy felt as though he may have done enough job to put the pressure on him. As he's celebrating with his DC friends and family, he's feeling as though he put on a good representation. Even though Atlanta is down, he may feel as though he might have won the judges. And with him celebrating on the side of the ring like that with the judges in attendance, he might have swayed them.
So we are going to end this matchup with Frankie Solomon and Nasheed Smith. And you have Solomon for Atlanta, Nasheed Smith for DC. I got to tell you, Nasheed Smith really performed well when he competed in that 10th round.
It's a good ending for DC. Even though he got hooked with a mean right hook, Nasheed Smith looked really good in this last round, and he's being overwhelmed right now, but he's got to find his base, and he's got to find himself in the next 2 minutes and a half, because DC needs it.
Right away, Frankie Solomon pressing the issue on Nasheed Smith.
Yeah, Frankie Solomon, he's going to the body, he's going to the head, he's throwing a lot of punches, but he has to make sure he doesn't get tired out in the process, because when he does that, Nasheed, he's gonna realize it and then take advantage of that.
We now are into the final 2 minutes plus of this matchup between the Atlanta Attack and the DC Destroyers. Atlanta 4-1 on the season. For DC, they are 2-2 on the season. So right now, Atlanta likely in the driver's seat against DC. DC needs something big out of Nasheed Smith.
They need something big, and they need it right now. We don't have a minute and 40 seconds to figure out if he can do something amazing. He's got to get on that driver's seat, look aggressive, and try to win this round within the last minute and 30, because Frankie Solomon may not be statistically winning with the punches or timing, but he looks better in this last minute.
Yeah, at the end of the day, this is what fighters live for. So this is the last minute and 30. They got to push it to the limit. They got to go as far as they can to win. And if they don't want to do that to be victorious, that's sad for them. But they got to bring it.
Also, a couple important things that are on the line. If Atlanta wins this one, they will take sole possession of first place, elevating their record to 5-1. Yes. If you're DC,
great body shot.
Hook,
great body
hook.
Good.
By Nasheed Smith.
Left hook to the body, right hook to the face, body, head, and he's looking to do what he's been doing, and that's win the round dominant in fashion. Like we said, in the first 2 minutes, it looked a little bit of gray. But now Nasheed Smith is on his rhythm, he's in his box, and he's got Solomon on his back foot. And that's going to look good for the judges in this last round. Big left hand right there, and it looks like Solomon just wants to hold and stall out the clock.
That completely changed the momentum of the fight. Right when he hit him to the body and followed up to the head, you saw a total difference, and it was seconds prior to that.
Not only the fight in themselves with them too, but the fight against Atlanta versus DC. That could change it and go to a draw.
Nasheed Smith had Frankie Solomon
Good
hurt.
left hand right there again. He's hurting him. One guy is tired and one guy is not understanding the moment at hand.
This could be an even round, so at the 10-second mark, they just got to bring everything they have to steal it.
Who's going to stand
Smith,
in there?
Big right hook.
Who's going to stand?
Frankie Solomon hurt.
Beautiful round ender right there by both opponents, by both fighters. Atlanta didn't want that to slip away, and DC wants to move into first place. I think that was a good showing by both of them, and both coaches can go into that last round feeling confident about their team.
Great fights of the night. It was pretty even throughout. Each team got a win. Some teams got a loss in the round, but at the same time, it was real close. And we'll see who gets the win.
Well, if you are Atlanta, you're looking to elevate your record to 5-1. So if you're Atlanta, you want to go ahead, if you are victorious, to 5-1. Now, for DC, you're looking to elevate your record of 3-2. Now, DC has been, of their 4 matchups, 3 of which have been decided by 1 point each. So they've been involved in close matchups before, Bubba, but to me, I think Atlanta bested them tonight.
Yeah, and I'm actually excited where this goes down to. You know, between DC and Atlanta, they did their job, their damnedest job of trying to move forward and take that #1 ranking from Atlanta or from New York.
Yeah,
we're going to see what it looks like now.
It was great. But I can't wait to see who wins tonight. I can't wait. It
was a good showing tonight,
Very
honestly.
good showing.
Really good fights, and everybody came competitive. Everybody wanted to win. You can see the urgency on Atlanta from trying to take that first spot, and you can see DC being employed by Hunter to try to do their best to get back in this fight.
You could tell they both teams wanted it, and now we got the scorecards with Ray. Let's see what happens.
Ladies and gentlemen, after completing the first half of our doubleheader Week 7 of Team Combat League between Atlanta and DC, here is your final score. We have Atlanta 170, DC 169. Atlanta 5-1. They now take sole possession of first place in Team Combat League. DC will fall to 2-3 on the season. All right, so Atlanta by a point, 170-169. DC has now been involved in 4 of their 5 matchups have been decided by 1 point, but there is a very happy Atlanta attack team led by Mustafa Minkin, Sam Arnold Sr., and again, Michael Dawson, who only performed 1 round, looked impressive. Also got to say, very impressed by the performance of Vilvai Naloi Faiva, who looked mightily impressive. And collectively, Atlanta, you are looking at the #1 team in Team Combat League, the Atlanta Attack, taking sole possession of first place, as New York City will be in action in a few weeks from now. But we are awaiting the second half of our doubleheader between LA and Las Vegas. And Atlanta victorious tonight over DC. I'm sure Barry Hunter not too happy with that. Their 4th matchup that has been decided by 1 point or less. I want to get your thoughts on who you believe won that matchup. Eric Hunter saying DC won that to me. White Man saying let's go LA. JP Smooth TV saying robbery. Whiteman says it's close. Kathy Barrow saying congratulations ATL. Shireen Franklin, how's DC all the way? And I will tell you that the judges tonight, just to go ahead and clarify that, we have Don Hayes, Don Trella, and Tom Carasone that were the judges for that particular matchup, or for the first. I'll tell you this. Let me give you the judges for the first 6 rounds. It was Tom Carasone, Don Trella, and Steve Weisfeld, who the judges were. So we do have competent judges that are here when it comes to Team Combat League. Lucci says DC won that one. Obviously, Mike Ma's not happy, saying DC won more rounds. And Earl Newman, and I got to tell you, Earl, right now with Atlanta, they are now 5-1. And because Atlanta defeated New York City, Atlanta has sole possession of first place. So we have a 2-way tie at first place, but because Atlanta defeated New York City, Atlanta is now the #1 team in Team Combat League. And Amir Tyson is standing by with this special interview.
Great performance tonight, my man. How do you feel?
I feel amazing. I feel like, I really accomplished something. You know what I mean?
Did you implement everything that you wanted to prior to the fight?
Oh, yes, sir. I stayed in the room all night studying my opponents. I knew everything with Coach Mustafa, telling me what to do and just believing in what he's telling me to do.
How happy are you for your teammates, especially right now?
Oh, man, all of my teammates, I'm very proud of them. I felt like they pushed, regardless of if we won or lost the round. I'm very proud of them because they gave it their all, every last one of them.
How do you stay motivated after a win like this?
Just every fight we coming in as if we 0-0 and we the underdogs, and we continue to work hard Monday through Sunday and just continue to come in as we the underdogs every weekend.
Well, I'll see you got your performance next week. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Amir. Amir Tyson talking with a member of the Atlanta Attack, the first place Atlanta Attack. And I know New York City not too happy about it, but you know what? Hey, look, that's what's beautiful about Team Combat League. Atlanta, New York, the top 2 teams in the league. Coming back, we will have the second half of our doubleheader when it comes to L.A. and Las Vegas. You're watching Team Combat League here from Mohegan Sun Resort and Casino.
There's nothing more exciting than what the Team Combat League brings to the table.
1-round bouts, 8 teams across the U.S. The idea of this is so unique and so new.
It forces the fighters to skip the feel-out process and get right to the action.
I feel like New York's got a real good shot here, especially if I'm on the team.
Nobody can beat my mind, so nobody can beat me.
With the modeling is the modeling. When it comes to boxing, I handle my business.
1 round, and guys giving it all.
This is going to be the future of boxing. I'm very excited to watch this format, this tournament, in this league.
1 round, all what you got. Any minute, any second, anything can happen.
I got a 3-year-old kid. I'm just ready to change my family's life. What's up?
What's up?
Current super bantamweight ABF champion of the world.
I was born the champ in the crib. Let's go.
There's no way anybody can compete with us.
LA Terminators will come to whoop some ass.
Las Vegas hustle, let's go.
The opportunity that a lot of these fighters will be having is a 6-figure pay, health insurance. There's endless stuff to it.
I've been in and out of jail. I ain't gonna cap it to you. I've been shot 10 times.
Came down here with nothing. No car, no job. Hoping I make this Team Combat League to change my life.
If you're willing to sacrifice and if you got the talent, you're going to make this team. That's it.
To be able to see what city has the best fighters in the United States of America.
With TCL, that's what you're going to get.
Welcome back to the second half of our doubleheader here from Mohegan Sun Resort and Casino. Week 7 of Team Combat League rolls on alongside Bubba Jenkins as we get set for this matchup. 2 teams that are in desperate need of wins with Team Combat League because the ultimate premise, Bubba Jenkins, is to qualify for the playoffs. Las Vegas and LA both need W's here tonight to continue to remain in the playoff race. For Las Vegas, though, they have lost 2 in a row. Los Angeles, they only have 1 win to their credit. But for Dewey Cooper, the head coach of the Las Vegas Hustle, he's not too happy with what he's seen out of his team.
Absolutely. Dewey Cooper has a lifestyle of winning and a way of life of winning, and that's what he's used to. So when he comes up short of anything like that, he makes it urgent on this team. He told me tonight that it is a must-win for his guys. It's a do or go home, and some of these guys might not get on the plane tonight. So they better fight like they have some urgency because they're fighting for their spot on the bus.
Speaking of a sense of urgency, Ricky Funes, the head coach of L.A., his team needs to really come together, and they're going to do so a bit shorthanded. This week, no Iana Verduzco, no Alexander Flores. Both of them are out with flu-like symptoms. Also, Alan Garcia, who stepped on a nail, likely out for the season. So they are without 3 of their consummate starters. For LA, they need to circle the wagons. They need to do it fast, and they have to do it and kind of go off their bench and see some new talent. The Perez brothers joining LA Tengus.
Yeah, it is one of those type of opportunities where you just got to have your back against the wall and you just got to come out swinging. The TCL doesn't give you that opportunity to take your time and waste time and look at other opportunities. It's 3 minutes.
minutes of war. You got to get in. You got to get after it. And with them being shorthanded, I'm sure they're going to have a sense of urgency to try to win tonight.
One of the bright spots for LA 10 Goose has been the women's featherweight standout, Lisette Lopez. She's standing by with our very own Amir Tyson.
I'm with Lisette Lopez, who was in an absolute war last week. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
What are you going to do today that's different from last week to propel your team up the rankings?
I'm going to try to box more rather than brawl, and hopefully that helps my team out.
What's your game plan tonight?
I'm going to go out there and just move, stick and move more, and then just use the ring better.
What's your mindset of your team leading up to tonight?
Our mindset altogether actually is winning. We definitely need this win tonight.
Are you guys prepared and ready to push through whatever to win tonight?
I believe so, we are.
Thank you very much. Back to you, Ray.
Oh, big right down! Goes King! Big right hand! Oh my goodness, Nathan's hurt!
Fight two of those down on the rope, throwing relentlessly.
My goodness! There's a knockdown! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Week 7 of Team Combat League here from Mohegan Sun Resort and Casino on this Memorial Day weekend. It is time for the second half of our doubleheader between the 1-4 LA 10 Goose, led by their head coach Ricky Funes, and the 2-3 Las Vegas Hustle, led by their head coach Dewey Cooper. And now let's meet the starting lineup for the 1-4 LA 10 Goose. In the women's featherweight division, we have Lisette Lopez. At lightweight, Jose Perez. Welterweight, Jerry Perez. At middleweight, Alejandro Silva. At light heavyweight, Angel Lozano. At heavyweight, Federico Pacheco. At lightweight, Sean Bates. Middleweight, Vlad Panin. Light heavyweight, the battle-tested Ronald Ellis. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the starting lineup for LA 10 Goose, led by their head coach, Ricky Funes. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the starting lineup for the Las Vegas Hustle. They are led by their head coach, Dewey Cooper. In the women's featherweight division, Florencia Britos. At lightweight, James Earl. At welterweight, Alan Medina. At middleweight, making his TCL debut, Ray Vega. At light heavyweight, Samuel Arnold. At heavyweight, Giovanni Scuderi. At lightweight, Deontay Brown. At middleweight, Daquan Wyatt. Light heavyweight, Kevin Newman. At the women's featherweight division, Deanna Hobbs. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the starting lineup for the 2-3 Las Vegas Hustle. And also rounding out the starting lineup at heavyweight for Las Vegas, we have Skylar Lacey. Now it's time to begin Las Vegas and LA as Week 7 of Team Combat League continues.
Come on, let's go.
Man, excited what Las Vegas is going to bring. You know, they got a really good fighter coming out, a new fighter on their team, and we're excited to see what Las Vegas has put together on their reign or their run to the PFL, on their run to the playoffs.
Yes, absolutely. We will start off with Lisette Lopez and Florencia Britos, Ray Flores, Bubba Jenkins, Amir Tyson here. Honored to be with all of you.
Yeah, I'm excited about this matchup because we do know LA throws a ton of punches. We've seen her last week or last time on the TCL just giving all of every minute and every second of the 2 minutes that she had to give out there. But Flo from Team Las Vegas is no joke. Very good with her strategy, very good with her IQ, and very strong. So she is one of the most complete fighters in all of TCL.
Hey, don't forget, we will be back next Friday night. That'll be June 2nd at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific time with Week 8 of Team Combat League coming at you on June 2nd. That is 8 nights from tonight. Hope all of you enjoy your Memorial Day weekend coming up. Looking forward to I like to call it the unofficial start to summer, Bubba.
Yeah, it is, man. And that's a good way to end the TCL to get you ready for the summertime and looking forward to next year.
Absolutely. And you know what? We are going to have a hot summer with Team Combat League. Obviously, we're building to the Mega Brawl coming up middle of July, the semifinals. Who's going to make the playoffs? Good right hook upstairs by Florencia Britos.
And Flo is doing an amazing job of just counterpunching, seeing that what the atmosphere inside that ring is, and just playing her part to being the winner of this round. She's doing a good job of dictating the pace, dictating the distance, and just doing what she wants when she wants. The other girl from Lopez is from LA is doing a good job of keeping the pressure on. But for the most part, I think Flo is doing a good job of bobbing and weaving, slipping and ripping, and hitting when she needs to hit.
Now for both teams, you know, LA's got Iana Verduzco, Alexander Flores, they're out with flu-like symptoms also. Alan Garcia stepped on a nail, required a tetanus shot. He's likely out for the year. Also for Las Vegas, Michael Hunter is being rested for the week, so he's going to take a week of rest, and he'll be back when Las Vegas is back in action. This is huge as we take a look back at action from the first round.
And that was a good round by, I believe, Las Vegas, but, you know, the way the judges have been scoring it, we have no clue, because it was a close round, how that could go. We're looking here at James Earl, though. James Earl was put in the position last week by Coach Dewey Cooper to be the man, to win it, to step out and, you know, last fight on the card, if we need you to go out here and win. And I don't believe that Earl, even to his standings, put out the performance that he would have liked. So I'm looking at him this week to put on a better performance in his ring and in his time and for Team Las Vegas.
Well, so the Perez brothers are competing for LA. Jose and Jerry Perez, they are both newest additions to that of LA Tengus with Ricky Funes. Ricky Funes having to deal with 3 injuries this week. That's not easy, but when you have a team concept, that happens. I mean, even if you look at, you know, with the Eastern Conference Finals, when you have Gabe Vincent who's out tonight, or the point guard from Miami, it has to be the next man up, or next fighter up.
Especially when it's the playoff season. You know, we're in playoffs for everybody in combat sports, basketball, NBA, whatever you're talking about, NHLA. It's that time of the year where it's summertime and it's a killing season. It's hot out this month, and that's a good enough reason. So we're looking at these guys to come out and bring out the heat, but also put their team in the playoff position.
So Florencio Britos won that round 10-9. Las Vegas out to an early lead. For LA, they're 1-4. Las Vegas 2-3. Dewey Cooper's team of Las Vegas, they've lost 2 in a row. Look at James Earl go right after Jose Perez.
Yeah, and I don't blame Earl for pushing Perez off of him, even though he's getting warned by the referee here. I think that Earl is doing a good job of keeping the pace on Perez. Good right hand right there by Earl, and he's looking to dominate. He's got this mentality of a bully. He just comes forward. He's always in your face. He's the quintessential boxer, street fighter with good skill and good technique, and Earl is trying to do his best to just stay on the gas.
And if you are
good right hand right there by Perez.
Undoubtedly, Jose Perez and his brother Jerry Perez, they are the second set of brothers that are with Team Combat League. The Davidson brothers, Marcel and Marcus, for Atlanta. It was only Marcel this week, no Marcus.
Good right hand right there. And yeah, TCL is a family affair. I mean, we got families out on the teams. We got families in the commentating booth. It's a family affair. And most times than not, in combat, you want a little bit of family, a little bit of blood on the line. You want somebody to back you up.
Absolutely. Well, thank you to The CEO of Team Combat League, Ahmed Sheikh, my brother Miguel, filled in for me 1 week, during Team Combat League. So certainly, as you mentioned,
And I'm doing a job right now, filling in for my brother Paulie right now.
There we go. See, it's a family affair.
Absolutely. And TCL, we care about the family, we care about the fighters, we care about everybody involved, and we're looking to make opportunities in this new sport.
Final moments of the second round. Coming up, it'll be Jerry Pettis, the brother of Jose Pettis. A big right hand by James Earl to end it for Las Vegas.
That's a wonderful way to end for Las Vegas. It was a good stiff arm there that the referee didn't warn him about, but sometimes within the fight, a fight happens and fights break out. So moves from fights may break out. And that little forearm shiver to the right hand was a little bit of a fighter's move, not so much of a boxer's move. But here in the TCL, sometimes fights break out when you don't have that many time on the lot.
So now we have the third round. Jerry Pettis at 147, Alan Medina for Las Vegas. Should be a compelling matchup here. Alan Medina, a southpaw, taking on Jerry Pettis, conventional fighter. Jerry Pettis having been in the ring against Frank Martin, a standout lightweight. Big left hook upstairs that landed for Jerry Pettis. Don't forget, we'll join you next Friday night, June 2nd, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific time, right here on the TCL YouTube page. Looking forward to another doubleheader here from Mohegan Sun Resort and Casino.
You know how I've had my favorite fighter in Davis being on, Team DC?
Yes.
I am not going to lie to you right now. Alan Medina has been one of my favorite unassuming fighters. He doesn't really have the physical stature and the speed and all these other attributes that some of the other guys have in TCL. But every time I see Alan Medina come out to box and fight and put on a show for for Las Vegas, he usually does a good job of representing not only his family and the Medinas, but himself in Las Vegas. He does a good job of being unassuming, but still getting victories.
Las Vegas on top 20-18, so Dewey Cooper and his soldiers sort of going out and starting strong. Ricky Funes needs Jerry Pettis to come up in a major way here. LA does not want to fall to 1-5 on the season. They got a lot of talent there, but right now they are injury-riddled and they are trying to piece things together and try to remain in this playoff hunt.
Yeah, Medina's got to do a better job of just beating them to the punch. They seem to be evenly matched inside this phone booth, and it just seems like Perez is one punch or two ahead of him. Even though Medina, like I said, is always holding his own, always unassuming, always coming to fight for Las Vegas. It seems to be a phone booth matchup right here that he needs to get a little bit more of that advantage on by just clearing a little bit of space or being more active with his volume.
Big right hand over the top by Jerry Pettis as he is trying
good punch right there to back Perez up.
Alan Medina stopped Jerry Pettis' forward progression.
Good phone booth fighting right here. This is exactly what you want to see. If you don't want to see that outside rock'em sock'em robot, you want to see some skill and some almost a little bit of mixed martial arts where it's come to them just being so close and almost tying up with each other and just seeing them do some dirty phone booth boxing. It's wonderful to watch. Good body there by Medina.
I think it all depends based on what your physical abilities are. If you are a fighter that can stay on the outside, use your jab, maintain your distance, fine. But if you want to be more physical, yes, get and tie up and get in the trenches.
Absolutely. And they're trading good bodies, good hooks, good head. I mean, both of them look very similar to each other. Very, very mirror-like matchup right here. Couldn't tell you who won. Oh, good uppercut right there.
Beautiful blistering left moments ago by Alan Medina of Las Vegas. That'll end the third round.
Good even fight right there by both of those guys.
So coming up, we will have Alejandro Silva and Ray Vega matching up as we go back and examine the third round.
Good body work right there. Some misses, some punches, some swing and misses, but that's part of boxing right there. You just got to ebb and flow with what you can get.
Round 4, Alejandro Silva, Ray Vega. This is one of the strains of LA Tengus with Alejandro Silva and Vlad Panin. They have got to perform at a very high level in order for LA to have a chance to upend the Las Vegas Hustle.
Yeah, this is LA's LeBron James and Anthony Davis with these two guys coming up with Silva and Penin. They are the main leaders of this Los Angeles team. Alejandro being the type of fighter that he is in his regular career, not just the TCL, but being a champion type fighter. It's good to see him have to, pull back on his setups and things like that to get this one round out of the way. But he has always, since he's joined the TCL, been on the front foot and looking to be the aggressor.
Yeah, and at least Ricky Funes has led his team to a win, unlike Darvin Ham when they didn't win anything in the Western Conference Final. Oh, I went there. Yeah, they got swept by the Nuggets. How about that?
That hurt a little bit.
29-28 your score. Las Vegas on top of LA. Hey, LA won a round, much like, LA didn't win a round with the Lakers.
Not yet.
Anyways, that's another topic for another day.
We haven't won a round yet.
Goat conversation over. Michael Jordan, greatest of all time. But anyways, let's finally have Silva. Ray Vega, being from Chicago, I can say that. Anyways, Alejandro Silva has looked terrific as he just hammers Ray Vega with the left hook upstairs.
Absolutely, and Ray Vega being kind of new to the TCL is a little bit, it looks like overwhelmed. Obviously, Silva knows what he's doing in there, being as experienced as he is, but being as experienced with the TCL, I mean, he's walking him from pillar to post. This might be LA's momentum shift that they were looking for. Of course, Dewey is implying his fighter to do his best and punch with power, but I mean, we're going from pillar to post everywhere we can, from red corner to blue, and Silva is all over Vega.
He's starting stronger compared to that of last week when he went up against New York City's Christian Cangelosi, and Cangelosi beat him twice. So Silva's coming out saying, I want to redeem myself, and he has looked superb here tonight.
Not only redeem himself, but be the Silva we know him to be. Those kind of fights that you have that nervous energy, you kind of maybe a little bit pull back or you're a little bit gun shy because of the possibilities of being hurt or letting your team down. Last week they were in a tough fight. They were looking for, fighting against New York, and, they needed the point. So he could be a little bit gun shy, not wanting to, let his team down. But here you see Silva going out looking to be the MVP of this night.
Absolutely. We have 20 seconds remaining in this fourth round. It has been all Alejandro Silva, and I think now with this, we're going to be even up as we head towards the fifth round.
Yeah, I think, though, Vega did a good job of not getting too dominated. Silva is a really good fighter. Inside of TCL and outside of TCL, he's done a good job, and he's known. So I think Vega, being a late notice, a short time, just getting with Vegas this week, he put on a good performance.
That'll end the fourth round, round 5 coming up. Angel Lozano, Sam Arnold. And incidentally, as we go back and take a look at the fourth round, all dominated by Alejandro Silva.
Sam Arnold here, we're looking for him to get on that bandwagon that his father was on, winning with Atlanta, and, win here for Vegas in a very beautiful fashion.
Well, Sam Arnold has been one of those bright spots for Dewey Cooper in the Las Vegas Hustle. Angel Lozano, a guy who's a blue chipper, a guy who only had 6 amateur fights, has sparred with the likes of David Benavidez, super middleweight champion of the world, Dimitri Bivol, light heavyweight champion of the world. So when he's able to get quality work, even though he doesn't have an extensive amateur background, he's really performed very well for Ricky Funes and LA Tengus.
Absolutely, and this might be the atmosphere for him. You don't got a lot of time. You don't have, setups and weaknesses that you can be drawn out of. It's 3 minutes of right now. And he might be one of those opponents that could care less of who Sam Arnold is outside of TCL, and they want to get that victory right now.
I think it all depends with Sam Arnold. He needs to stick his jab and just use his fundamentals. But Angel Lozano, he's got a very free-flowing style. He's a free puncher, meaning he gets a lot of leverage behind his punches. How did I learn that? By listening to the great Emmanuel Stewart, who passed away over 10 years ago, the Hall of Famer and the head trainer of the famed Kronk Boxing Gym from Detroit.
Yeah, and you can just hear some of these guys give you a couple quick pointers, a couple comments here and there, and some of those things change your life. Dewey constantly says things throughout the training day and throughout the week that literally change the perspective of the way you think as a fighter. Some of these mentors are just like that. Ooh, good overhand right there.
Well, there's a left hook by Sam Arnold, certainly catching the attention of LA's Angel Lozano.
Yeah, Arnold's got to be a little bit more aggressive as he's starting to become. And him being a young guy, you know, he might be deer in the headlights when it comes to some of these fights. But him being as good as he's been for TCL, I want to say he's undefeated. He's probably looking to put the gas on the pedal here for Vegas.
All right, so we go ahead and take a look. Jerry Pettis is out with a cut. We're tied up at 38 apiece, so Jerry Pettis is out, unfortunately. And also the round was scored in favor of Medina, so we are deadlocked at 38 apiece as we are now into this 5th round.
Wow, that's an amazing job by LA because of what Silva did, but I had Vegas winning the first 3 or 4 fights, and now we seem to see that, you know, within the 5th fight, it's already tied up.
Well, how about this for Ricky Funes? You're already dealing with 3 injuries. You have a newcomer in Jerry Pettis, and now he's out. So another injury for LA Tengus. I mean, they remind me of the Chicago White Sox that's just injury-riddled.
It's the fight game, I mean.
Seriously.
It just happens to be the fight game, and with it being such a short notice and such a short round, I mean, you really got to do a good job as the commission to keep these fighters safe. So I applaud what they're doing and, you know, taking guys out, but it does make a hard lineup to meet.
Final moments of this 5th round between Angel Lozano and Sam Arnold. And that'll end the 5th round. Once again, we want to send a special aloha to Cynthia Conti, who is a bit under the weather. We miss you, Cynthia. Cannot wait to have you back next Friday night.
Yeah, get well soon, Cynthia. We miss that wonderful voice and that energy that you bring.
We'll take a look at some of the action here between
good
Angel
overhand
Lozano
right,
and Sam Arnold.
good left hook right there by Sam Arnold. Got homie out of got right out of his position, and Arnold looked really good to capitalize on some of those out of position punches.
So now we'll get ready for the heavyweights. Federico Pacheco, 19 years of age, and Giovanni Scuderi of Las Vegas.
Scuderi has been really good for Las Vegas, doing his thing and then, you know, getting finishes as he did last week. Every now and then, as a fighter, I'd like to see him with his chin down a little bit. You know, he sometimes stands a little too straight, but he's done a great job of being the catalyst, the backup, the last guy on the line of defense for Team Las Vegas.
Well, Scuderi is also a specimen. I mean, he looks like an imposing figure. He used to be one of the #1 heavyweight with Las Vegas, but they were able to go ahead and secure the services of Michael Hunter, the cruiserweight contender, the Olympian. He's probably top 15 in the world in the heavyweight division is Michael Hunter. And that's putting it mildly, but now Scuderi has adopted to being that 2nd heavyweight and has responded well.
And it's good to have those type of players, I want to say players because we're talking team here, but it's good to have those type of fighters and boxers. You want, like you said, a good alternative route to victory because like LA is dealing with, a lot of injuries happen into this. A lot of knockouts, a lot of this, a lot of that, a little cut here, a little cut there, and you're out. So you got to have a Scudero and a Hunter back-to-back right next to each other, and it just makes good team combat for the league.
So Las Vegas on top 48-47, but LA, they need a big round here from the 19-year-old Federico Pacheco.
And I thought Pacheco did a great job last week doing what he had to do to get to represent LA, but I think he's a little bit outclassed here with Scudero if Scudero could jump on that gas.
Good jab there by Pacheco, though.
Great jab. And
catching the attention of Pacheco.
And Scudero with his chin up, like I was saying, you know, he kind of walked into that punch with his chin straight in the air. It's almost like he doesn't look through his eyebrows like most of us fighters do. He kind of looks off the top of his nose almost.
So when you're talking about looking through the eyebrows, what do you mean?
I mean just chin down, kind of looking through, almost as if you have eyes on your forehead. You want your chin down so you're not susceptible to knockouts, but you're looking at your opponent with kind of like this upward gaze, just so you can see from his toes to his temple. I mean, you want to see everything that he's doing, all the motions. So you kind of have your chin down, tucked in behind your shoulders, and you're looking through your eyebrows to see where your opponent is. A lot of times, that's going to protect you from the counter punches that you're receiving as you're going to look for your offense.
Yeah, basic fundamentals. Keep your chin down and look at the eyebrows of your adversary. Right now, Giovanni Scuderi was going left and right, and he's using his technical brilliance to frustrate the 19-year-old from LA Tengus and Federico Pacheco.
Good 1-1-2 there. That was a wonderful time combination at the end of the round just to get the judges knowing, hey, I'm finishing this round smartly, I'm finishing this round on top, I'm finishing this round aggressively.
Also, Federico Pacheco is Diego Pacheco's brother. And, you know, Diego Pacheco certainly making some noise in the sport. Diego undefeated top super middleweight, in which he is trained by Jose Benavidez Sr. And look at this action.
Chin up, man, gets him every time. I've seen every fight of Scudero's, and he's always got a jab that just puts his head on the top of the ceiling, and he's just looking up, straight up in the air, and that goes to him having his chin up.
Well, now we get ready for Sean Bates and Deontay Brown. They are matching up, and this one is here in the lightweight division. Sean Bates was a spark plug for LA last week.
Absolutely, and he comes out with a heavy right hand to the body, not even caring what's going on with Deontay Brown. I mean, Deontay Brown has been a good fighter for Las Vegas, but it looks like Sean Bates is not giving him any respect and could care less who he is. Good jab to the body there by Brown. He's employing on Deontay Brown to throw that overhand that he's throwing, that's, you know, kind of looping a little bit. He's telling him to throw it straight because, you know, the way that Bates is leaning in, it will be there for him. And I think that's a great combination choice and a good suggestion by Dewey Cooper.
Good right to the body by Sean Bates on Deontay Brown.
That's been there all day. I mean, since the opening whistle, he's done, you know, a parry or a fake jab and then went heavy to the body.
So Scuderi won that round. 58-56 is the lead for Las Vegas on top of LA. So LA's got some work to do.
Ooh,
good left to the body by Sean Bates.
Good 1-2 by Deontay Brown, right to the grill of Bates. Got even some of the Las Vegas people giving that oohs and ahs. Oh, good counter punching right there. Both of them kind of missed off a little bit, stepping in on the inside. So being that it's a southpaw versus the orthodox, you want that lead leg to be on the outside. When that lead leg is on the outside, you just feel more comfortable with throwing your punches and being able to counter. When you start stepping on the inside, you start stepping towards that opponent's power and his ability to counter punch you. So you definitely want to have your footwork correct in all of sports, but definitely in boxing.
Coming up on a minute to go between Sean Bates and Deontay Brown. Deontay Brown, the southpaw for Las Vegas. LA looking to cut into this 2-point advantage that Las Vegas maintains.
Good boxing round by both of these guys. Very intelligent, very fast, very good strategy. You can see if you're privy to what's going on. Even in the short 3 minutes, you can see them trying to set things up.
The nose is bloodied of Sean Bates from those straight left hands, compliments of Deontay Brown of Las Vegas.
I think it was that one left hand in particular that got his attention. And that was a beautiful uppercut, kind of grazed the chin, but definitely landed clean.
We are nearing the final moments of this 7th round.
Ooh, good uppercut again.
Deontay Brown and Sean Bates.
Bates is a really good fighter, and he's doing a good job, but it just seems to be a little bit less than what Brown has.
And that'll end the 7th. Coming up, we got Vlad Panin and Daquan Wyatt matching up.
Oh, my goodness. I think that it was a good idea for LA to put Panin, you know, Anthony Davis, LeBron-type fighter against, you know, strategy-wise against the Daquan Wyatt, because, you know, he hasn't done as great for Las Vegas as some of the other fighters. He's game, and he comes out and he fights hard, but yeah, he just hasn't been able to put up the winning record that they needed for Las Vegas.
And don't forget, let us know who you think is winning in the live chat. We have Whiteman who says, let's go Sean. Sleeper says, Bates got this easy. Aisha Butler saying, put that speed on him, Tay. So certainly the fans also, we have the real fight, Cynthia Conte, Federico Pacheco. Cynthia chiming in. She's actually, communicating with the fans. If you want to talk to Cynthia Conte, who has appeared in the live chat, even though she's sick and on the
Just
show.
because she's sick don't mean she ain't in presence with us.
She is certainly communicating with you, the fans. If Cynthia's around, you want to ask her a question. If she can get to you, I'm sure she will. Cynthia, we miss you dearly, but now we are now with Vlad Panin and Daquan Wyatt here in this 7th round. Significant, and right now your score is Las Vegas 68, LA 65. So they need a Vlad Panin round. That round went to that of a very tough end game, Giovanni Scuderi. And also Deontay Brown won that previous round as well. So Las Vegas has won the last 3 rounds, which is why they have the lead in which they do.
Good combination by Vlad Panin right there. He kind of hit him with a jab and a pull and a counter, which was really good. But, I heard Dewey Cooper talk to Daquan Wyatt in training this week, and he said the reason why you're still here is because you just give me so much effort. There are times where you don't obviously come away with the win, but your effort is what we need, and your effort is what we appreciate. So Daquan Wyatt's got to do a really good job of carrying what Dewey said into this fight from this weeks of training and giving him good effort and really trying to put that foot on the pedal and try to get some gas out of this.
Good right hand over the top for Vlad Panin. Panin with the left hook that caught Daquan Wyatt's attention. Now Panin going forward, which I'm sure Ricky Funes is smiling with that. LA needs this round in a significant way. They're down by 3 rounds. They've lost the last 3. They are reeling.
And strategy-wise, it was smart to put Panin against Wyatt. But Wyatt, again, is doing his best due diligence to come out and be, and mess up the card. Muck it up, make it look like more of a street brawl than it is a classic boxing match. Because in the classic boxing match, we know Panin is going to win. But if you can make it ugly and stall the clock a little bit, Daquan can just, get away with possibly a win, but nonetheless not giving up too many points to LA.
Well, not to date myself, Wyatt needs to be like that, a Wyatt Earp, and needs to have that reckless abandon because he's losing to Vlad Panin.
Absolutely. He is, and it's not something that is foreign to him, but just to compete and just to get out there and represent Las Vegas is something that Quan has been able to do, and he did a good job of coming away, not giving up too many points. Sometimes, you may not be the better fighter, but you come away with a solid performance for yourself.
All right, now we get ready for round 9. I think this is one of my marquee matchups. Ronald Ellis and Kevin Newman, as we go back and enjoy. We were seeing Vlad Panin, but Kevin Newman, a new addition to Las Vegas for Team Combat League. Kevin Newman, a solid professional, has been in there and been around for a while, was formerly signed to Mayweather Promotions. And, if you get signed by Floyd Mayweather and Leonard Ellerby and company, that means they certainly believe in you. And even though he's no longer with them, it still says a lot about the ability of one, Kevin Newman.
Yeah, and it definitely is a difference, almost a different sport than the one that he signed up with the Mayweathers for. This is definitely not the same style of combat. This is right in your face. You don't have time to measure him up. You don't have time to set him up later in the rounds. You don't have time to even, capitalize on possibly his fatigue and the body work you're doing. It's right here, right now, 3 minutes of what you got. And that's what I love about TCL. So whether you're Ronald Ellis, who has an extensive background outside of the cage, outside of the boxing ring, or you're Newman, who has a wonderful professional career, this is a new standard, and this 3 minutes could change a lot for Team LA.
Panin won that round, so now Las Vegas has a 2-point lead, 77-75. Really appreciate Josh giving us the scores all night long. A member of Team Combat League. We are nearly midway through, but if you're Las Vegas, you obviously want to see a high-level performance from Kevin Newman, and Ronald Ellis is going right after Kevin Newman.
And you want Newman to give you a high performance because this is his first feature in the Team Combat League. You want him to get his feet wet, but you also want him to come in and perform well for himself to get you guys going with the momentum into the playoffs.
And Ronald Ellis has been in the ring against the likes of David Benavidez, fought him in his hometown. So without question, Ronald Ellis is as tough as they come. And Jim Ross, pro wrestling announcer, likes to use this terminology. He's tougher than a $2 steak. So that's what Ronald Ellis, he's certainly as tough as they come.
Absolutely. That dollar store, ooh, good punch right there by Newman. That dollar store steak is calling Ellis' name when it comes to that toughness and just who he is and gritty and durable. You know, me being earlier in my career, I used to spar with Ronald Ellis out there in L.A., and he gave me everything I could possibly handle. So I know that he's going to represent L.A. to the best of his abilities.
But I think who's landed the bigger shot has been that of Kevin Newman. That jab followed by the right hand. Ellis hasn't landed anything that has come close to that big shot.
Yeah, they're both trying to catch each other. Even at the last 30 seconds, like you said, I think Newman's up by one big punch to none by Ellis. But it's still any man's fight within the last 20 seconds. And we know that within this Team Combat League, every second counts.
Boy, to me, it is the fastest 180 seconds in combat sports because it is like F1, Formula One racing. They just go and go and go at such a high speed.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can't tell you who won that round, even though Vegas looked aggressive on that last little end there. I could not tell you who walked away with that. And it would be pretty. I mean, it would behoove L.A. to come away with that victory.
And we'll go back and let's take a look at some of what we saw here tonight in that round.
A 1-2 right there. 1-2 again. It was like a 1-2 slip, 1-2, even though that Ellis didn't throw back. It was 1-2, rip, 1-2, and it was a good combination by Newman.
And now we got Lisette Lopez and Deanna Hobbs. We are now into the 10th round. This one is scheduled for 18.
Good punch right there by Deanna Hobbs. I was introduced by Hobbs, and she just started off with a heavy, high pace. And who can't forget the fight that Lopez had last week where it was 12 minutes. It was 2 minutes of just all-out boxing and punching. So I can see this being that same thing here.
We say it with the men, the fastest 180 seconds. For the women, it's the fastest 120 seconds because the women's rounds are only 2-minute rounds. That is per standard across the board when it comes to women's professional boxing. Look at Lopez go.
Yeah, and visually, I would like to see Hobbs not on the ropes, you know, just maybe circling back and being in the center and trading in the center, then trade on the rope. Just because if you trade on the ropes, it just gives those judges that opinion that, you know, maybe you're trying to hide something. You have, you know, you need protection, or you need to go away on the ropes and give yourself a backing. When you're sitting there in the center of the ring and you're, you know, willing to give it your all, willing to be aggressive, that looks like chances taken by the ref.
So Las Vegas has increased their lead 87-84. Kevin Newman won the round over Ronald Ellis, which is major, and I think it was that right hand that certainly caught the attention and swayed the judges.
Absolutely. Like you said, it was probably one big punch to zero. Even though both the fighters looked good and walked away feeling confident, someone has to win.
And Deanna Hobbs coming on as of late.
Yeah, that was a good right hand by Hobbs over there while I was describing what was going on in the last fight. She's doing a good job of counter-punching like that right there with that good right hand. But I think it's a little bit far in between. Good effort right there. She's coming forward. Oh, man, I can't tell you who won that, but Hobbs definitely put on a good display of competition right there.
We'll go back and look at some of the action.
Good 1-2 right there. Boom. 3-2 overhand. I mean, just punches after punches and bunches right there from both ladies. This was good to see. And a lot of times you get more combinations out of the females just because I would believe it's just more technical. They just throw their punches with technique. A lot of times when you're in that phone booth, all it takes is technique.
And we'll go back, and as we take a look and we get ready for our 11th round, Jerry Pettis, Alan Medina, Jerry Pettis, beg your pardon, is out. So I'm sure they are shuffling the lineup around as we speak for Ellie Tengoose. Ray Flores, Bubba Jenkins. We are here at Mohegan Sun Resort and Casino. At the moment, LA behind. We are awaiting the tally in terms of who is going to be given that round, but collectively, LA is 1-4 on the year. Las Vegas is 2-3. If you are LA, you cannot afford to lose another matchup and be down 1 to 5. Ray Flores and Bubba Jenkins and Bubba, you know, with what we are seeing, you know, Las Vegas, they lost 2 in a row. Right. You know, being under the tutelage of Dewey Cooper, he didn't take too kindly to that. No. And his fighters have been performing very well and seem to be a half a step in front of LA.
Absolutely. Dewey came up to me before the fight. He's obviously, you know, that's uncle to me. And he's like, oh, Bob, you're looking good, but I want to tell you something. And I was like, what's that, Dewey? He's like, listen, you know, as much as it's been a good competition and, you know, we're starting to grow the league, I want to win, and this is a must-win for our team. I'm going to be very upset as much as we like having fun and much as we like, you know, putting on a good competition for everyone involved, from all teams involved. Las Vegas Hustlers want to win this competition. They don't want to just compete, and that is the Dewey Cooper statement on that.
Well, and also what is important, because we continue to emphasize it's about making the playoffs. There are 6 teams that are within Team Combat League, only 4 of which will qualify for the playoffs. And I'm going to break it down for you. It goes down to not only glory, but also it's called prize fighting. You're fighting for a prize. You're fighting for money. If you make the playoffs, you're given a playoff bonus. If you advance to the Mega Brawl Championship, you're given an even bigger bonus. If you win the Mega Brawl Championship, if you're the Team Combat League champion,
bragging rights.
Then not only do you get bragging rights, but you get paid.
You get paid well.
And you get paid well, and you get paid handsomely.
Absolutely.
So the bottom line is to make it to the playoffs, because there is such a thing as getting playoff bonuses. And the thing that I love about Team Combat League is that none of this counts against your professional boxing record. They are only going 1 round at a time. They go, then they fight no more than 2 rounds. And now we get ready for the heavyweights. We got Skylar Lacey of Las Vegas, Federico Pacheco of LA getting set to collide inside the ring.
The paydays are big, the championship's big, the bragging rights is big. You want to be the first team of Combat League to say we were the first city to win this thing. I mean, I believe this is going to have legs and go off to be a really awesome league and a really big pivotal point of sports in boxing. So to be the first team to do it is something that you want on your cap. And I'm sure that Team Las Vegas, New York, and Atlanta, you know, all those teams that are at the top are really wanting to put their hammer down as we get closer to the playoffs and really fine-tune that matchup, fine-tune those skills, and really come away with this team victory.
Also, Bubba Ahmed Sheikh has told us, and it is public knowledge, that next year, Season 2, we're expanding to 12 teams. That is how much cities and coaches and franchises want to be involved in Team Combat League. So 6 teams this year, it's going to double. I mean, we're growing faster than the MLS is what's crazy.
It's going to be an amazing season next year. You guys watch what you get out of this first season. Be entertained. But as we get better as commentators, as we get better as fighters, as we get better as commission and everything that TCL is offering, you're going to see some action-packed fights and some beautiful outcomes that you can't even expect, because greatness is one thing that you just don't know where it's going.
Here's another heavyweight that is looking to make some noise. Skylar Lacey for Las Vegas and Federico Pacheco. And again, you know, when you're the head coach of a team, you have to manage not only fighters but egos. And Michael Hunter came on, and both Skylar Lacey and also Giovanni Scuderi, who was successful in his previous round against that of Federico Pacheco, they both check their egos at the door and say, okay, we're going to go ahead and be on the bench and not necessarily be the star in the heavyweight division. And they have responded in resounding fashion.
Yeah, Skylar Lacey's doing a good job of putting his name out there and making himself be the fighter for Las Vegas to represent against LA. But like you said, Michael Hunter came in and did the job that we all knew him to do and know him to be. So these heavyweights at the Las Vegas, they have to understand that it is Team Combat League. It is, if you do well, I do well, we do well as a team, we could possibly get paid more, we could possibly be looking for those ultimate prizes, and we can be the team that walk away with the first Combat League championship. So to put your pride aside for the bigger and better ideal is something that, you know, even Patrick Mahomes does sometimes.
Well, it's 106-103, Las Vegas on top of LA. And as we are now into these money rounds, Bubba, LA needs to really start to string together some rounds and perform at a very high level.
Absolutely. With the names that are still on the list to go for Las Vegas and the names that are still on the list to go for LA, LA really needs to start squeaking away with some of these victories, because I don't believe Vegas is going to give them the opportunities as we get down to the last couple rounds. We got 6 rounds left, but some of the best fighters and some of the guys who didn't perform as well as they wanted to previously for Las Vegas are looking to make a statement due to Dewey saying, listen, it's playoff time, it's clutch time, it's crunch time, we got to go now.
Well, Skylar Lacey throwing that right hand. He's clobbering Federico Pacheco.
Seems to be a little more urgent, right?
Well,
a little bit more aggressive.
As Cynthia Conti mentioned, he is the brother of Diego Pacheco, who's a super middleweight under the tutelage of Jose Benavidez Sr., who incidentally happens to train his son, that David Benavidez, and Jose Benavidez Jr. David Benavidez clamoring for a fight against Canelo Alvarez. We'll see if that happens. We know that Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence has been announced for end of July. Looking forward to that.
As boxing fans, you know, that being announced is just going to be amazing. Not only is TCL doing some amazing things, but boxing, the sport of boxing, is doing a great thing, and I'm excited to see what this summer holds.
And you want to talk about the summer? Well, how about in the middle of July, the Mega Brawl Championship, and then a couple weeks later, you get that fight. So guess
you
what?
You get the team, then you get the individual.
Absolutely. You got to love it, man.
Absolutely.
Oh, we're going to have some fun in the summer, and Skylar Lacey having some fun in the ring against Federico Pacheco. That'll end the 12th.
And it'd be good to see some of these main boxers, you know, possibly present a team. You know, what's his name? Nebraska.
Oh, Terrence Crawford.
Terrence Crawford.
Nebraska.
Yes. Yeah. And all I saw,
the Cornhuskers.
All I saw was the Cornhuskers. I couldn't even think of nothing of his name. Terrence Crawford. It would be awesome to see some of the people out of Terrence Crawford's gym and some of the people out of Nebraska, you know, represent a team. There are some of these cities that definitely have some tough fighters. They might not be known for fighting, but they have some tough fighters enough to be in this TCL.
Ahmed Sheikh, the president and CEO of Team Combat League, is getting called from all over the world.
All over.
International markets are calling him up to try to get expansion teams.
Puerto Rico versus Mexico.
I'm glad I got my passport ready to go.
Yes.
And it's all set because we may be involved in some international travel in season 2. But back we go with here season 1, Las Vegas and LA matching up. Las Vegas 2-3 on the year, 1-5 is, or 1-4 is LA Tenko's Alejandro Silva hammering away upon Daquan Wyatt.
Absolutely. Big punches always by Silva. But let me just go out here and say Daquan Wyatt has not been given any easy task from the start to now. He doesn't get any easy task. He's gotten the Anthony Davis of LA, and now he's getting a LeBron James, or vice versa, however you want to put it. But every time I see Daquan Wyatt fighting, he's usually fighting the other team's best. I don't know why. I don't know if it's that just his weight or where it is. But more times than not, the average fighter for the other team usually walks around Daquan Wyatt's weight. So no easy task for Daquan Wyatt. And I'm sure next year, you know, we will see a better Daquan Wyatt getting used to the TCL. But this year, he's had a tough task with all those tough opponents that were in front of him.
Look, he's one of those guys that it's almost like a defender. You want to go ahead and they put you up against the leading scorer to try to minimize their damage. But right now, Alejandro Silva had success in their first meeting. That was back in the 4th round. And here he goes in round 13, looking to swing things back in the favor of LA Tengus.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's a hustler. Like, for Las Vegas hustle, for him to be the guy that just keeps going and keeps going. Like you said, he guards the main player on the other team, right? Who is that that player that played with the Lakers, played with the Clippers? He was a young guy, but he's a pest. You know, he's that pest of the NBA, and he's just a hustler, right? He doesn't have much offense, but he has a lot of good defense, and he's there every time you see them compete. I can't remember his name, but I feel like Daquan Wyatt has that type of grit, type of, you know, I don't care if you're the best guy, I don't care what your name is or what your stats are, I come here to give my best. Patrick Beverly was his name. Absolutely. He gives me that Patrick Beverly, like, pest in your face type of atmosphere, but he's always going against the best of the best of the other guys.
Big right hand over the top by Alejandro Silva. LA down by 4 points, 116-112. They need these rounds in a major way. And here comes Alejandro Silva.
Yeah, you need a little attitude right now from Daquan. You know, a little bit of, you know, I know that I may not be the better fighter, but you want to give him a little bit of that give back. You know, Coach Dewey always talks about punching with your power when you get a guy up on you, when you get a guy, you know, aggressively coming at you. You want to get him up off you with your power. And I would like to see Daquan, you know, sit down, sit back, and just try to give him some power on this last couple seconds.
Big right hand down, goes wide. Is it a knockdown, yes or no?
I don't know. That's the last second, too.
And he deems it a knockdown. He deems it a knockdown. Daquan White's going out of the ring.
I would have left the ring as well. No way.
So he was a knockdown. That's big.
Yeah,
that's a 2-point swing. Dewey Cooper cannot stand it. He's in disbelief.
If the referee didn't call a knockdown, what Dewey is saying, it can't be right that he calls it a knockdown. Referee's looking at everyone but if it's a knockdown. So it's a little bit of confusion. You know, and Dewey Cooper does not want it to go in the other team's direction because they are on the brink.
Well, we need to go back and let's bring that up, guys. We need the truck. Let's show it is a knockdown. So it is a knockdown. So says Mike Mazzulli. So that's a 2-point swing, which would cut into this Las Vegas deficit. LA was down by 4 points. Now they're down by 2 because of the 10-8 round. I agree with the knockdown because Mercanti went ahead. He stepped in, pretty much saying, okay, let me go ahead and take some time. And he sent Alejandro Silva to the neutral corner, and then he was able to get in the count. However, the thing is that White stepped out of the ropes, which is what caused the confusion.
Yeah, as much as I am for Dewey Cooper, Team Black Cobra, and Vegas, I do agree with you about that knockdown. It was last minute, it was late, but it mattered. And this is where we're back in the same position that we were in last week, where Las Vegas is looking for Earl, the MVP, you know, one of Dewey's favorites, one of Dewey's most aggressive fighters, to be in the position to get that momentum back from LA.
And if you are Ricky Funes and LA 10 Goose, now you have momentum. It's like you're down in baseball by 4 rounds. You just cracked a 2-run homer, and you're back in this thing.
Yeah, and Bates looks aggressive. Even though he's bleeding, he's got some blood on his chest. You know, maybe Earl clocked him a little bit. Bates came out within the first 45 seconds looking to get that LA win.
Well, Bates was already, his nose was bleeding in the first round that he was participating in. You got to go back to round 7 when he went up against Deontay Brown. So I'm sure that they haven't been able to get the blood under control, but you're right, it could very well be some of the work of James Earl.
And I'm sure that Dewey Cooper wants James Earl to step up and be the fighter that we all know James Earl to be. This is a momentum swinger by LA, so we're looking to put James Earl out there to stop that momentum of LA and walk away with the last couple of rounds still being in Vegas' favor.
Midway point of the 14th round. If you're LA and Sean Bates, you need to go right now. They have got to get things going because they're the ones who are facing that uphill climb of being down by 2 points.
Yeah, they are. Good aggression, a lot of noise out of Earl. You know, a lot of aggression, a lot of fight, a lot of grit. But, I mean, it's going back and forth. I can't say that he's not doing what he's supposed to do. Both of these fellas out here are fighting.
124, 122, a 2-point advantage for Las Vegas. They're 2-3 on the year, looking to make their record to 500. For Ricky Funes, they're 1-4, looking to get to 2-4, which essentially they just want to get within striking distance of potentially making the playoffs.
And much like the playoffs in the NBA, you have to have your main fighters do what they're supposed to do. Daquan Wyatt's got to do a better job of not giving up the bonus points. I don't care how many guys he fights that are the other team's best guys. You got to do a better job of not giving up that 1 point with 5 seconds left to change the atmosphere in the arena. But also, you got to do a better job of being James Earl Earl and knowing what your team expects of you, knowing what your team requires of you, and coming out and give them that. You're fighting for not only your reputation and your victory, your L's and your W's, but you're fighting for the respect of your team and their efforts to win this championship.
This has been a wickedly entertaining 14th round as Bates and Brown are going at it. Oh my goodness.
Great trades. I think Bates got the best of them in that last little bit. Even though we love the wars from Earl. Earl likes that combat. He likes that grit. He likes to be punched. He likes the blood a little bit. We want to see a little bit more skill and a little bit less fight. More boxing, less fighting.
There is some of the action from Sean Bates and James Earl. What an entertaining 14th round here.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if they gave that to LA, but I can understand it.
We are now into the 15th round as we will focus in on the lightweights with Jose Perez of LA, Deontay Brown of Las Vegas.
I believe that Dewey Cooper can feel comfortable about this matchup right here. Deontay Brown's a really good fighter. Jose Perez is kind of new. And Deontay Brown has been really good for TCL and for Team Las Vegas in the Hustlers. So, you know, seeing what Earl did to what Earl did to Perez earlier, we're probably going to see a mimic ideal from Brown.
So now we are into the 15th round. Jose Perez and Deontay Brown. You have Brown, who's a southpaw, conventional as Jose Perez.
And Dante and Dewey Cooper is asking for Dante to not hold back. He says, Dante, I need your power, I need your aggression, I need you to go forward right here. So that's Dewey Cooper implying Team Hustlers to get going and get on that foot. And I believe Dante Brown is the perfect opponent for Perez to do exactly what Dewey Cooper is calling for him.
If you are Ricky Funes and LA Tengus, though, you need your guys, the newest additions, the Perez brothers, to go in and do some work. Jerry Pettis is out because of a laceration. He went ahead and came up against Alan Medina in the third round, but now his brother Jose Perez in action once again against Deontay Brown. LA Tengus, in my opinion, they need to sweep these last 4 rounds.
Yeah, and I believe it's going to be hard for them to do that with Newman and Arnold still left on the card, but you know they still have Vlad Pananin, and then we're going to see where it lands after this, where the fight may be after this. But I believe the way that Dewey wants to go into this last couple rounds is with Dante Brown walking away with the victory and then winning the last maybe 2 out of the last 3.
Well, as we are nearing the final minute of this 15th round, happy Memorial Day weekend, all of you. We hope you are. And thank you for joining us on this Thursday as the unofficial start of summer begins tomorrow. Las Vegas, they now are only ahead by a point, 133-132. So it is literally a 1-point matchup between these two. Wow.
They gave that round to Bates as I predicted, you know, that's the Quan Wyatt not doing what Las Vegas is expecting of him, and Earl just kind of being a little bit on the I like to fight but not like to win kind of mindset.
Also, too, the 10-8 round, and I know fans on social media are not necessarily agreeing with it, but from our standpoint, it was a knockdown.
It was.
And that was what Arthur Mercanti said, so that's what we're going to go with. I'm sorry. Sorry, but not sorry. That's how it is.
It was legitimately a knockdown, and you know I'm biased, and I have a win. I have a want for Team Las Vegas to do better and to win. You know, I'm Team Dewey all the way, but that was a legitimate knockdown, and it came almost at the clack of the round. Saved by the round when it comes to that, but
and a 2-point swing. And here's the thing: is that the commission looked it over, and Michael Mazzulli said yes, knockdown. So guess what? That's the rules. Take it or leave it, but that's how it has to be. Now we have Angel Lozano at 175 taking on Kevin Newman. Newman looked very good in his previous outing in round 9 against Ronald Ellis, winning that round.
Right, he did look good, but also that Lozano is a very aggressive guy. He's very gamey. He doesn't really care of the opponents that's in there. He wants to go in there and represent himself and his family very well. So he can care less who and what and where Newman is from. He's going to go out there and do his best for Team LA.
Well, you talk about Daquan White, about how he goes in there against some tough competitors. Well, how about Angel Lozano? The fact that he saw Sam Arnold in the previous round, that he was in. Arnold won that round. You got to go back to that of round 5. And now he sees Kevin Newman, who is the newest addition to Las Vegas, who looked terrific against Ronald Ellis.
No favors in Team Combat League. The moment you get one round out, your next round might be against a better opponent, and you just come off a loss. So you really got to get your mind right and fight your best for your team. Give your team what you want from yourself. You really got to
quick fashion as that.
Very quick turnaround.
It's like you literally gave up a point, and now if you're Angel Lozano, if you win this round, well, guess what? You didn't cost your team any points.
Yeah, absolutely, and you got to go back to the drawing board when you lose, or when your team comes away with a loss, and you got to look at yourself in the mirror and say, damn, how many rounds, or how much did I give to my team, or how much did I get them give up from them? And you really want to try to do your best as you're coming towards the playoffs to minimize those mistakes and maximize those opportunities to get points.
143-141 as you saw Braun win that round over Jose Perez. So now LA, they need this round in a significant way. I mean, they have been all night long because they've been pretty much facing that uphill climb as we have a minute to go in the 16th round.
Yeah, and if I'm a judge and I don't know any of the names, any of the fighters, I don't know if this guy's Newman, I don't know if that guy's Lozano, I'm just looking for the aggressor. I want to make sure that Team Las Vegas and Newman is being more the aggressor in this last minute, because it's coming down to last wire, and it's going to get close here.
Well, Angel Lozano, I still think this round hangs in the balance, and Kevin Newman had a close round in his previous round against Ronald Ellis and was able to land that right hand, and that was in the 9th round. So can he land it? He threw that big right hand, and he missed Lozano.
Yeah, so it's 30 seconds, and neither one of them has landed it. It's still in the air. So we have 25 seconds to figure out who's going to steal this round. Where's that big one-hand punch that we got out of Newman last time? Where's it going to come from? With 15 seconds left, this could be anyone.
This is massive. Down the stretch.
Good right hand right there.
In a pivotal round between Angel Lozano and Kevin Newman here in the light heavyweight division.
They're scoring back and forth. Good. Going back and forth. LA's aggressor. Newman's counter punching. They both kind of slipped out. I couldn't tell you who won that.
I would hate to be the judge in that particular
I would
instance.
hate to be Dewey in that particular instance.
No doubt.
I mean, I know he's on the line wanting his fighters to do the best that they possibly can.
Well, we are literally in the money rounds. Vlad Panin coming up against Ray Vega in the middleweight division. And curious to see how the judges have rendered that verdict for Lozano and Kevin Newman. 17th round. We are now in the final 2 rounds of this matchup. LA 1-4 on the year. Las Vegas 2-3. Previously tonight, we had Atlanta defeat DC. Atlanta now 5-1. They have taken over first place,
baby.
As they are, and New York's probably saying, wait a minute, we're 5-1. We have first place. Well, guess what? You got company, and Atlanta, because they won the head-to-head matchup, they are now in possession of first place.
And I watched that. It was a beautiful matchup between Atlanta and New York. Both teams look like they won it, but with New York sitting out this week and Atlanta performing, they should be able to move up. They're the last ones to have that 5-1 record.
So Lozano won that round 152 or over 1. Very tough, Kevin Newman. So now it's a 1-point lead for that of Las Vegas. And Vlad Panin coming forward on Ray Vega.
It's going to come down to Sam Arnold and Ronald Ellis.
It very well could.
And that is not the type of atmosphere that I believe Las Vegas Hustle should be in. They're counting on Sam Arnold, a younger guy, also who's 7-0, doing very good things. His father's team, Atlanta's coach. I know he's a very experienced fighter, but Ronald Ellis is experienced as well. And it's going to come down to how Vega represents Vegas against Panin, and then how these last 2 matchups go.
We're now at the midway point of the 17th round. Up to this point thus far, Vlad Panin has been controlling the action.
Absolutely. For most of Team Combat League's competitions.
Well, I mean, he has. He's a very solid performer.
Cerebral, very intelligent. You can tell he's got a high boxing IQ. He's not rushing it. Even though TCL puts you in an atmosphere to try to rush your punches or rush to get the guy out of there, I've always seen Vlad as very calculated.
If this holds true, it could be a case where we come down to the final round between Ronald Ellis and Sam Arnold.
I don't know if that score is right, but they got round 15 for Vegas.
So it is literally a 1-point round.
Okay. 142, 143, huh? Going down to it, ladies and gentlemen. We are at the last 2 rounds.
Nearing the end, or the final 30 seconds between Matt Pennon and Ray Vega. I think Pennon has been having this and winning this round in convincing fashion.
Yeah, with these rounds, you know, when you have the better fighter, you're looking at Team Vegas just not to give up the bonus points, you know? Very much how Alejandro Silva picked up those bonus points at the last, literally the last couple punches of the round. You just want to do a better job of not giving up those points when it matters most. And like we were talking about Penn State wrestling and just wrestling in general, it's the edge of the mat and the end that gets you close.
So now we get ready for the final round between LA's Ronald Ellis, who lost in the previous round to Kevin Newman, and Sam Arnold of Las Vegas. Sam Arnold victorious over Angel Lozano back in round 5.
Good pep talk. It seemed to for Dewey. Dewey grabbed Arnold by his shoulders and brung him in for, you know, what seemed to be like, hey, we are counting on you to get us this victory and move us on to the playoffs.
Well,
and go ahead.
If you're LA, you're looking to get to 2-4 to remain in the playoff race. If you're Las Vegas, you're looking to get to 500 after losing your previous 2. This is huge. This round could determine who comes away the winner and who suffers a loss.
Yeah, and Sam Arnold, being a young guy, has kind of taken maybe not so much of the front seat, but maybe not the back seat to some of his friends. You know, being a friend of some of the guys on Atlanta and Dallas.
Big right uppercut.
Big uppercut by Sam Arnold. He's looking at him like wondering, is he still there or if he's hurt? Maybe the judges saw that, maybe they didn't. But it was nice, slick, and it was quiet. Ellis is moving like he's back in the fight, but Arnold definitely saw something in that little uppercut there.
Well, that's a big shot. As we enter this final round, we're tied up. So the winner of this round is going to propel their team to victory. And Ronald Ellis started strong until he got clocked with a right uppercut from Sam Arnold.
Arnold's got to be the aggressor. As much as he loves the counterpunch, CCL has not been favorable for the counterpunchers. It's usually been the aggressor. I've seen a lot of the fights tonight be won by the aggressor. Even though the counterpuncher's getting his off and doing almost as much as the aggressor, tonight the judges have been rewarding the aggressor for the most part of this Combat Leagues.
Don't forget, we are back 1 week from tomorrow, June 2nd, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific time, with another doubleheader of Team Combat League Week 8, set to commence next Friday night. But right now, the winner of this round will lead their team to a W and put them in the winner's circle.
It's got to look better for Sam Arnold. He's got to be doing a better job visually of not just getting into the corner and then looking for the referee to break him, but to punch out, to counter out. You know, Ellis is doing a good job of being on the front foot. You know, you see Ellis going forward and Team Hustle going backwards. You don't want to see that, even though it is boxing, and that doesn't mean much, but the competition-wise, visually, one guy's going forward, one guy's going backwards, and that's what you want to avoid for Team Hustle.
But also, Arnold, he did enough with that punch. Ellis has been doing a lot of feints, a lot of movements, but he's not throwing.
Right.
So he's not doing, I mean, he's controlling the tempo, but he's not really doing much. And who's landed the bigger shots? Sam Arnold.
Yeah, I agree with that, but we have been wrong on the judges' cards before, and with me being a little bit like I want to start biting my nails and be a little bit nervous for Las Vegas, I do feel comfortable with Arnold being in the driver's seat of this fight and it being the last round with 15 seconds left to go.
I think Arnold has won this round for Las Vegas, and likely Vegas, with this win, they'll improve to 3-3. But again, it all depends on if you favor the aggression of Ronald Ellis. But that right uppercut, to me, was the difference as this matchup comes to a close.
We'll see who liked it. We'll see what the judges liked. It wasn't definitive. That's what makes me nervous.
Well, I mean, I think it was definitive. This right uppercut, as we're seeing, I mean, it was the biggest shot of the round. Ellis stayed in the pocket, bang, sharp, and it looked like Ellis was sort of went into that second and third rope there, and he was a bit discombobulated for a couple of seconds.
For a second or two, it did look like it, but it did seem like a small, I mean, it wasn't super powerful. We'll watch it here. Boom, just a little quick up there, and then he cleared out.
Well, it was short and compact, and it did the damage. And even Arnold, for emphasis, stuck his chin out as to say, "You okay, man? Are you all right?"
Yeah, and you know when you land a good punch as a fighter, you can feel that. So when you land that punch and you circle around, you're looking at your opponent, you're looking in his eyes to say, "Hey, are you still there? Did I land that as much as I thought I landed?" So we're coming down to the last little bit. We're going to hope for Team Las Vegas, or at least I am, being Team Dewey. I was going to hope for Las Vegas to walk away with this victory, having it been put in Sam Arnold's hands to walk away. But we're going to see what it looks like, because I think LA did a great job of coming back. I think Vegas did a good job of getting the momentum early. But we're going to see what it looks like. Ted Goose did a good job, and Las Vegas Hustle did a good job. We're going to see who comes away with this victory. Great shows of sportsmanship by all the fighters involved. I mean, it's a beautiful show of just really good fights tonight. LA, DC, Atlanta, Vegas. I mean, really good show tonight by both teams, both coaches. I mean, really awesome competition. Let's go into the judges' cards.
Ladies and gentlemen, having completed the second half of our doubleheader between LA and Las Vegas, here is your final score for their Week 7 matchup. We have Las Vegas 171, LA 170. The Las Vegas Hustle are now 3-3 on the year. LA will fall to 1-5 on the season. Congrats to both teams, including the Las Vegas Hustle, led by their head coach, Dewey Cooper.
Awesome victory by Las Vegas Hustle. It went down to the last absolute minute, last absolute punch. I mean, all the way down to Daquan Wyatt being punched in the last 5 seconds to give up 2 points for Team LA. I mean, it was an amazing show by Vegas, an amazing show by LA, but they did what they had to do to come away and put themselves at 500 to get back in the winner's circle for Dewey Cooper and the Las Vegas Hustle. It's amazing to see.
Well, Bubba, we talked about it. That final round was in favor of Sam Arnold. And to me, that right uppercut is going to be the punch heard from Las Vegas and LA. LA did and fought so hard to come back. And they got some key wins from Alejandro Silva, from Vlad Panin. They knew that they had to be really good in their strength, their weight category where they're strong at. 160. They've been riddled with injuries. But in spite of all that, you got to find a way to dig deep, and LA did that. But it wasn't enough, because it came down to Ronald Ellis. It came down to Sam Arnold. And what a moment for Sam Arnold. People have been lauding him for being so good and being one of the bright spots with Team Combat League. And he came up big when his team needed the most, and they stopped their 2-match losing streak, and they're now 500, and I think they're in the driver's seat for making a playoff run here.
Yeah, and you got to love the camaraderie that Team Combat has for all of these fighters, for all of these teams. You can lean on your next best fighter. You can lean on your Williamses and your Dixons and your Davises to help you, pull up what some of the other fighters haven't done. And that's what makes Combat League so special, the team aspect of it. You may be winning the first 3 or 4 fights like Las Vegas was, and then in that middle round where Team LA was strong, they made a good comeback, got some extra points there, and we go all the way down to the last fight of the night. So it's exciting to see how many of these different fighting teams come together as a team and put out that performance that each individual needs to get them to the next level.
Okay, so the way that we're looking at the playoff situation is as follows. It is possible for a team to be 3-5 and qualify for the playoffs. So if you're LA,
this may be the last year for that.
You're 1-5. You're 1-5,
yes.
And you obviously are in the midst of a losing streak. But you're technically not done just yet.
Yeah.
They got to circle the wagons. They got to get healthy, but they have to do it in a quick manner.
And healthy is a big part of
all of combat, right? The best ability is availability. If you're not available, there's nothing we can do. We're giving Atlanta the #1 seed right now because New York wasn't here. Not all on availability or hurt, but just New York wasn't here. Availability is the best ability, and we're going to see some of these fighters as we get to the crunch time and the playoff season. We're going to see some of these fighters fight with that urgency, fight with that want to be on a winning team that gets paid more, that gets those advances, that gets that notoriety and that walk-away clout of saying we are the best team and city of Combat League.
So Atlanta 3-3 on the year. They are now 500. They are one of the top 4 teams in the land. But earlier tonight, we saw Atlanta 170-169 over DC. Hey, talk about this. As I literally look at this, I'm not a mathematician, but both matchups tonight decided by a single point.
And that's what Team Combat League gives you. You know, from the ladies starting it off to the heavyweights finishing it off to maybe the Sam Arnolds versus the Ronald Ellis. You get so much competition and so much to build on from the amazing 2 minutes that the ladies show us to the heavyweights going out there giving their 3 minutes that isn't the same as the 160-pounders 3 minutes. You get to see a total combat league of fighters just doing what they can to come together and try to get that ultimate prize as a team championship.
I know Mustafa Minkins is the head coach of the Atlanta Attack, but how about this? Sam Arnold Sr., an assistant coach with Atlanta. Sam Arnold, his son, performed at the highest level when his team of Las Vegas needed a win the most. For the Arnold family, wow, what a family affair here
Absolutely.
tonight.
You never miss out on that want to give your dad that love, that hope, that hey, we did it. And for him to be on the opposite team, or not even the opposite team, for him to just be on another team, he still wants to represent not only for his name, but for his father. So his father being in the crowd, having taken the #1 seed earlier, he's got an opportunity to not only impress his father, but move Las Vegas into the next round. And with that having to be 2 birds in 1 stone, so to speak, you want that opportunity for Sam Arnold. Who doesn't want to be in that 4th and 1 on the goal line, needing that touchdown for your team? And that's what I felt like Sam Arnold was in, and that's what I felt like he capitalized on, and they came away with that victory tonight.
What a night of action. Bubba, always appreciated. Great to see you as we enjoy our Memorial Day weekend here on this Thursday. On behalf of Amir Tyson, I'm Ray Flores. What action that we saw here from Mohegan Sun Resort and Casino. Week 7 of Team Combat League in the books. Atlanta over DC, 170-169. What action that we saw there. My goodness, what a performance by Quincy Williams as he finishes off Khalid Johnson, a big 10-7 round as DC and Atlanta went to battle, but ultimately it was the Atlanta Attack who up-and DC to become the #1 team in Team Combat League. They are now 5-1. New York City is in 2nd place, and in the second half of our doubleheader, Las Vegas improves to 3-3. LA falls to 1-5. A 171-170 win for Las Vegas. On behalf of our entire team, I'm Ray Flores. We thank you so much. We're back a week from tomorrow night, June 2nd at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific time, a Friday night edition of Team Combat League Week 8. I'm Ray Flores. Good night. Enjoy the start of the summer on this Memorial Day weekend. We will talk to you next week, next Friday night, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific time. You've been watching Team Combat League here on the TCL YouTube page. Hit the subscribe button and enjoy the fights. We'll talk to you a week from tomorrow night. You've been watching Team Combat League. So long and enjoy your Memorial Day weekend.